it's important to you that your kids know where they're from, that they know about their lineage, Ukrainian lineage. And I know Sona, like this has been a big thing since I've known you.
Yeah.
Your Armenia and your connection to Armenia is really important.
Yes.
And it's harder for me to connect to, say, Ireland because we came here in the 19th century and it just is so long ago. It doesn't have that same intensity when someone's first generation.
Yeah.
Like where I feel like, I don't know, it's in your, I guess the saying would be it's in your blood, but it's stronger than that even. It just feels like it really is. You have a very strong connection.
Yeah, you feel like you have to. Because, I'm sorry, my voice is a little, it's gone. That's why I sound like this.
She smoked a lot of pot.
I
just before
did.
We
cocaine.
Yeah.
Lots of cocaine.
Cocaine-laced marijuana.
Yeah. But also in our house, you know, we speak Armenian, we speak English. And then my husband is from Armenia, so he's also a Soviet.
Yeah.
And so they speak a lot of Russian, too.
Yeah.
So you probably know Russian, Ukrainian, and English.
I don't speak Ukrainian because I left in second grade, and that's when they start teaching Ukrainian. So when I was there, Russian was the main language. Because I left at USSR, so I left when everybody had to speak Russian.
Yeah.
Everything else was secondary. So I think it was first or second grade you start learning Ukrainian. But I left in second grade, so I never finished it up. But if I heard Ukrainian, I attribute it to like Spanish and Portuguese. Like it's close enough where I can pinpoint some words and figure it out, but I wouldn't be able to string a sentence together.
Yeah. Okay.
When I'm with her family, they just all are speaking. No one
understands anyone.
Yeah, and there's very little English being spoken.
They're very little English.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good. I don't know. I mean,
But
do your parents speak you like Russian with each other?
My parents with each other?
Yeah. Yeah, right? I mean, it's the language they're most comfortable with.
Yes. And they do to myself and my husband until my husband points out, he's like, okay, he can understand enough. And then once it gets over a certain point of conversation, he's like, no, that you gotta flip that language. And so if you remind them, they'll remember to flip. But if they start, it always goes naturally to Russian.
Yeah. What's really Sona's husband, Tak, who grew up in the Soviet Union, they have these beautiful one-year-old twin boys, and he has some toys.
He has Soviet toys.
Soviet toys.
I did too.
Like Winnie Pooh and.
Good idea, Miss Winnie Pooh.
Yes,
yeah, I love Winnie Pooh.
Pizza Chalk, and he has.
My kids do.
Wait, hold on. What's happening? I'm
So do my kids.
Chiburashka is a
so
big
do my
one.
kids.
Yeah.
Gourley, help me.
Hold on.
I don't know.
My kids have Chiburashka, Crocodile Gana.
Yeah.
They watched Winnie Pooh when we were little.
Yeah.
What is this? What's happening? Who's Winnie Pooh?
Is Russian for
guys.
Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Yes, but get this, and I don't know if your husband had the same experience
But he's a
that I
good
did.
Soviet. He makes sure that everyone gets an equal amount of honey. The honey must be shared equally among the collective.
Yeah.
Oh, bother.
Okay, wait. So ask your husband this. This is a little embarrassing, but I think, okay, whatever. I was talking to Ashton 8-9 years ago, and we were talking about Winnie the Pooh. And I go, it's amazing that they created Winnie the Pooh in Russia.
Yeah.
And then you guys picked it up here. Like, what? And he went,
Oh, wow.
Russia didn't create Winnie the Pooh. And I was like, no, we did. We had Winnie Pooh.
What?
And he was like, baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
You guys also.
Yeah, but surely we created Elvis.
No, America stole Gilligan's Island. Which was just, again, a collective farming experiment on an island.
And Winnie Pooh he's voiced by an actor who sounds like he's just been smoking
A
cigarettes.
pack a day.
Yes.
I mean, 2 packs.
What does he sound like?
Yeah. What I do?
Oh, my God.
Who's Eeyore? Is there an Eeyore?
You know what?
Eeyore is a Marxist-Leninist.
I can't handle it.
And they're smoke. Crocodile Gana smokes. He's like, like they smoke.
They don't know what Chiburashka is.
What is
They don't know
Chiburashka?
what animal. He doesn't even know what he is.
What is Chiburashka?
My parents told me, and I already forgot what it was.
Is this an animated
it's like a
character?
chipmunk looking thing. Yes, but it has like it looks a little bit like what's that? What was that? People in Deep Space Nine. The
Ferengis?
So he looks like a Ferengi.
Oh my God,
He looks
Gourley.
like a Ferengi.
It's only because she said F.
He looks
Gourley,
like a Ferengi.
do I congratulate you
Yes,
or am I?
he looks like a Ferengi.
Oh my
That's
God, look at
Chiburaska.
that!
Yeah.
Eduardo just pulled up. Is that what's his name?
Chiburaska.
Chiburaska. Do you actually have a Chiburaska
Yes,
doll?
of course I do. Mine has PJs on.
Yeah. Do you realize it has a camera in it and it's watching everything you do? Chiburaska sees all. You realize there's somebody in a van in like Minsk, watching a screen monitoring you and Ashton, everything you do.
Okay.
Through Chiburaska. Every now and then his head turns slightly. Chiburaska is most displeased.
I'm gonna find you, Chiburaska. I'm gonna get one.
Oh my God, these are. I have to see these toys.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Oh, that's fantastic.
They're really funny. And
One thing you have to be careful.
And they
these-
sing.
They sing,
Yeah, they sing.
Like what?
Like I forgot the Crocodile again the song, but it's just their theme songs. They sing the theme songs.
The
The great thing is that's the people's song, so we don't have to play rights.
Yeah.
You know?
We have to pay anybody. Exactly.
We all
That's
own it.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it that, and also in American toys, they say, like, watch out, could be a choking hazard.
Yeah.
No,
With
not
these
Russian
toys, they
toys.
say,
No.
watch out, these toys are prone to depression. I am sad. I must drink.
Oh man.
God.
Yeah.
That's
I could,
fantastic.
I could listen to you two go on about
No,
Chiburaska.
seriously, this is a whole other thing. You guys going off about...
do you have the Russian toy? My parents got it for him, but talk about like this is hazardous. It's metal with like sharp plastic, and then you push it on top and it spins. It's like a giant spinning like.
Oh no, we have like a plastic version of that, but not the legit
one?
version.
Oh yeah, no, ours,
Like the
it's
tin
metal.
top?
Yes.
Yeah, that used to be here.
No, but but it has like spikes.
No, it doesn't have spikes.
Rotor blades.
It will detonate if you hit it too hard. No, it is. I mean, it is crazy how we're so safety conscious with our
Yeah.
toys. And when we had kids and I would go and see the toys, everything is, they've thought a million different ways. And the minute there's any hint that some little thing might be slightly hazardous, the toy is recalled. And then whenever you're over in Europe, you'll see like, oh, it's spiky, the iron spike, you know, and you know.
Or the slides.
Yes,
The
the slides.
slides is like it's a death trap. They're metal. They're very steep. They hurt you. And I kept putting my kids on them. We were in Budapest, and so we would take them to these parks, and it was like steel communist parks. and Ash was like, you want me to put my baby on that slide? And I was like, well, I went on them.
I went on them. I'm okay.
If you don't, I will.
Yeah, none of these would
man.
pass muster.
No.
It's just a different attitude.
Yeah.
Which sometimes is like a little refreshing.
Yeah.
Like you get on a boat and it's like, yeah, maybe we have a couple of life jackets. Shut up. Get on the boat. What's the worst that could happen? You know, it's a very different idea.
It's different. Yeah. There's I mean, having married a Soviet, there is definitely just like that very distinct difference
Yeah.
in how he
Right.
was raised and in how I was raised.
Yeah.
Well, not how we were raised, but
Well,
like
it's so-
how we grew
But
up.
also it talks about when you were raised, because my father's a doctor and I said to him once, you know, this peanut allergy thing, is this new? Like, because I read history a lot and never heard about it growing up at all, about peanut allergy. I said, is this something that developed later? And my father went, oh, no, there were always peanut allergies. They always existed, because, you know, he's a scientist, he knows this stuff. And I said, really? Well, what did people do then? He went, a lot of people died.
Oh my God.
Just like, there was a different time.
There were other priorities.
Yeah, there are other priorities. Like, well, we got 9 kids, so 2 of them just ate some peanuts and died. Well, the other ones seem to not have the allergy. Let's keep moving. Let's get that burrow out of the mud and get going. I did want to ask you about, because it's in the news every single day, and I know this is a huge issue for you. It's the least funny thing to bring up in the world, but I think about Ukraine every day just because it is such a big part of the news.
Yeah.
And I know that this is where your people are from,
Yeah.
you know, is Ukraine. And I follow the news every day, and I think we're watching, people love to armchair quarterback and talk about how in the 1930s and 40s, you know, we really should have stood up to
Sure.
fascism.
Sure.
And if I were alive then, I really would have stood up. You know, we really needed to stand up to Hitler in 36 or 70. And I really do feel like we're seeing this play out right now. And when people are indifferent about it, or indifferent about Putin, or in any way, I think you understand that this is the defining fight right now in the world. And 25 years from now, people are going to be seeing this as a very important outcome.
For the world. I think
for the entire world.
For the world, yes, correct. Yeah.
I didn't mean to get all heavy, but I just thought, I kind of felt like I know this is important to you and wanted to talk about it, especially with the way the news has been unrolling
I
recently
appreciate
with
it.
Putin getting incredibly desperate and back on his heels.
You know, it's one of these situations where I think everybody wishes, and it's weird how this war is affecting some people, and other people are like, it's just a war over there, it doesn't affect me. And I understand that, because I look at most wars over there and they don't affect me, right? And I keep trying to go, even if I wasn't from this country, even if I had no association with it, you have to look at this war as a defining moment for the West. On so many, I won't go into politics, but what this will do to China if X person wins. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many players here. And I was like, so just look at it strategically as like, this is a very important war. Not like, should you care about the people or the refugees? If you don't have time for that, I totally respect that. You have busy, you got bills to pay, you got food to put on the table. I get it. But just remember that this is the breaking point for whether or not democracy lives or where democracy falls on the global scale. And that's the only thing that I ask of people. Like, just keep reading the news, keep getting yourself invested. You don't have to do money or time. I mean, other than information. That being said, you look at what's happening in Iran right now. No one's talking about that either, because that's not on the global scale, right? Like that country's going to handle. That's not anyone's problem because it's isolated. It's not going to trigger a nuclear war. They look at Russia and Ukraine, and people got upset. Like, why? Because when it was popular, I got pushback of like, this is only popular because, and they would give some BS reasoning. They don't talk about other wars or other natural disasters this way. And I was like, that is true. They should all talk about everything that's happening. But this has not happened in a very long time, since the 80s, where there was this fear of a bigger problem.
Yeah.
But I go back to no one's talking about the women in Iran right now or what's happening there either. So there's a part of me that goes, you can only solve so many problems. Otherwise it becomes overwhelming. The idea of like, how do I help there? What do I do there? How do I assist there? What can be done? Becomes insanely overwhelming. And so I think that's where our focus just kind of naturally went to logistics, going back to like logic, like how do you deal with things? And as much as I want to deal with emotion and take every kid in and save every mother and go in there and like give everyone a hug, that's not the best use of time or energy at this point. And so we try to solve problems with logic. So we try to go logistics on everything. Otherwise, I would get incredibly overwhelmed.
So what's the logic and logistics you use in
for Ukraine?
Ukraine, yeah. You and Ashton raised a ton of money.
Honestly, we wanted to Band-Aid a problem until the government step in, because realistically, war is $1 billion trillion solution. By all means, it's not millions. And so it was like 48 hours in, 24 hours in, and we realized that people were just not. People were just so confused as to what they can do, right? People in general, as human beings, want to feel like they're a part of something. They want to feel like they're a part of a solution. They want to feel good about themselves. They want to feel like they did their job. And it was showcased in social media when it was like, you know, repost this photo and that means you stand with these people, or turn your profile picture into this. And you saw that people naturally were doing the easy way, right? Like, they're like, if I click this, that means I'm for it. So I made a difference and I feel good about myself. So the thing that Ash and I wanted to do was to make sure people felt good about themselves, because it does take time, it does take effort, but also people want to post it, repost it, and showcase it. Cool. We did this with COVID, with Quarantine Wine, where we were like, okay, how do we raise money but also make people feel like they're a part of something bigger, greater? And so we did it through that, and it was successful on that part. And so when we started this process, we just had to Band-Aid a problem and make people feel like they're making an immediate difference, right? So if you were like, hey, give me $10, I'm going to go and buy a bunch of blankets and toothpaste. By the time I do all that, things will already be different 20 times over where the war is. People are super generous at donating. So there's tons and tons of warehouses full of blankets and toilet papers and all of the necessities that are needed during a crisis moment. But getting it from point A to B is always difficult. And so we are part of this company called Flexport, and they just do, natural, they fly cargos, right? They ship cargo. They're just a cargo company. There was a natural disaster in, I don't remember where it was, maybe Puerto Rico, but I don't remember where it was. And they pivoted and started doing like an NGO version to try to help, because they realized that there was containers just sitting on the side, not being moved, full of blankets and all like the emergency things that people need. So we facilitated that. So essentially what we did was we put point A to point B with vetted NGOs on both sides that already had everything ready to ship. We didn't need your money for the product. We just needed your money for the shipments.
That makes a lot of sense to me because I think there's a sense, it can lead to apathy. I think most people are good. I think
most people are great, yes.
I think Americans are very generous people. They
For a
historically,
minute.
Yeah, they do want to help. There's just an apathy that comes from, is this really going to get where it needs to go?
Exactly.
And, I know I felt it myself, like I really want to help, but is this
no
really...
one trusts anybody. Look what's happening everywhere right now. Like all of, unfortunately, all of these big NGOs, the CEO is caught taking 10% off the top, or this CEO is caught stealing the money. It's happening all the time. So I don't blame people for not trusting or being tentative about donating their hard-earned $5, $10, let alone $100 or $1,000.
Yeah.
So we wanted to be super transparent. So we just kept posting videos about it and then showcasing the said plane going or the said cargo ship going. And so we're like, this is what we did an outline of like how much money buys one flight round trip, how much money buys 2 cargos. You knew exactly where all the money was going. And then the housing of the refugees with Airbnb.org. That's already existing, right? So it's using existing infrastructure and amplifying that.
Do you have any family in Ukraine?
I have distant family. We were the last of my family to leave, so we were 91. My family left, I have to think about it, right after World War II. So my family was in the Holocaust, right? So the ones that survived, some left in the 70s, some stayed. And then that was like one of the migrations was the 70s. And then the other one was like late 80s, early 90s, right at the fall. And so we were right at the fall. But we were the last of my immediate family to leave.
I heard that you're doing this thing which totally plays into what we're talking about, but that over COVID you got sort of into sustainable farming.
Oh, yeah.
And this sounds so you.
Farming seems a little, I'm not a farmer, let me just say. But yes, go on.
Can I just say you're wearing overalls right now? You are. You are wearing overalls.
It's really taken on a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. Yes, my sustainable farming.
Well, no, I'm curious because I know that I'm a very impatient person, and Sona, I know you're a very impatient. You could not sustainably farm.
I couldn't do
you'd be
it.
Shouting
You want it like, wait, what would I be
You'd
shouting?
be like shouting at the plants, like 2 days into it, like, when do I get to eat you? Would you? Do you have the knack for it?
No, I don't. But I happen to have bought some good soil. That's I honestly have like a black thumb. Everything takes way longer to grow than you think. I'm super grateful for grocery stores. We would all be dead if we were living off of my sustainable farming skills. Okay? So let me say that first and foremost. We'd all be dead. We'd have no food, maybe a strawberry. But the experience that it has given us has been, like, we thought we were going to kind of just do it a little bit over COVID, and then it just kind of stuck. I'll tell you a story. I was like, you know what? We were in Canada, and I became friends with this woman named Judith, who was in the house next door to us. And she was lovely towards our kids. She was like a grandma, and she took our kids on and would take them to the library. Like, she was this beautiful older woman. And so she farmed on her rooftop, and she would grow these unbelievable tomatoes. I mean, tomatoes that I was like, this is what a tomato is supposed to taste like. She goes, okay, you have to go to, it was something like heirloomtomatoes.com. And I was like, Judith. She goes, no, I swear. So I do. I go on heirloomtomatoes.com, and I buy every strand I can to grow in a region. They all took. I didn't do anything. I planted them. I put some soil. I watered. I learned that you have to water the ground, not the actual plant. You learn a little bit of things. But now I'm only in one business. So I'm only in the tomato business. Like, I have no other, I'm not the smartest at figuring it out. So, like, at one point I grew hundreds of carrots. Hundreds. No one needs hundreds of carrots all at once.
Right.
So I feel like my timing on my farming is questionable. But we did grow tomatoes, carrots, zucchinis, watermelon. I'm still growing because I don't know why, but it's taken like 9 months. Corn, which we harvested. And then we grew soybeans to like nourish the ground, not to actually eat. Which soybeans grow like weeds.
Wait, so it sounds like you're quite good at this.
No, I'm really not, though. I swear. Like, if something goes wrong, I either Google or call my gardener. Like, I don't know enough.
Well, you're on your way. I mean, we started over COVID, we started composting. And my wife Liza got really into it. And what I didn't realize is it's all about the worms.
Yeah.
And so she kept going out to check on the worms and make sure the worms are okay. And it got to the point where it's like, okay, it's, it's time to watch our HBO Max show or our Netflix show. And she'd be like, I got to go check on the worms. And then I realized that I was fighting for attention.
Yeah.
My wife with worms.
I knew that's where this was heading.
And it was, but it enraged me because there's been like 18 years of, okay, we have these kids and I understand that I'm second to these children and that they come first.
You got replaced by worms.
I got replaced by worms.
The timing is interesting.
Yeah.
I know, exactly. She saw that they're like getting ready to leave the nest and she said, anything that doesn't even have to be sentient. It doesn't have to have consciousness or a soul. Just worms. We all have this fantasy of not needing to go anywhere. Like, I don't need to go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
But I know.
We still do. I'm not, this is,
And also, all the things I like can't be grown.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But we also, when we built our house, we try to make it as off the grid as the city would let us. So we are well water. Can't drink it, but we do everything else with well water. And then we're fully 100% solar powered.
Oh, wow. Why can't you drink the well water?
It's just not drinkable quality.
Yeah. Okay.
The city doesn't recommend it, but you can like use it to, you can do all, like you can
You
use
can
it.
irrigate with it.
Exactly.
You can do everything you need to do with it.
So that, yeah, exactly. So we try to be super sustainable.
Did you buy a property specifically because you knew it had a well?
No.
It was just there?
You randomly dig. I swear, you spend it's $5,000. $5,000 and they go, yeah, well, $5,000 a shot. And they honestly come with some tools, something, and they go, there.
Oh, no.
And then
No,
they just drill it
I've
out.
had experience with this years ago where I lived in a place that you could dig a well and someone comes out and they dig the well and you pay them to dig the well, with a giant drill that drills down. But they dig the well, they're there all day and they go, yep, nothing there.
Yeah.
So you owe me $5,000.
Yeah. Literally, it's weird, but you're just like, oh, maybe he'll find the aquifer. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got lucky, and the guy happened to have. We didn't know. We could have struck out and had nothing, but we were like, let's just try and see. Oh. And so we dug a hole, and they're like, yeah, you got it. And we were like, whoa, it happened. But it's a crapshoot.
Do you have critters? Do you have like
Tons.
What kind of critters do you have?
Not including like rats, mice, like that.
I include rats and mice as critters.
we
They're all
have-
God's creatures. They were on the ark with Noah.
I wish they weren't.
Right. Noah let everyone on. He was like, what? Nope, we need a male and female COVID.
Yeah.
You don't need to bring it. Nope, we got to bring them all in.
Yeah, some could have been X'd out. What do we have? All right, I'll tell you about the Sears sightings. We have rattlesnakes. We have...
Okay, that I'm not doing. I can't
yeah.
do rattlesnakes.
I can't either. It's not, like... I don't disagree. It's awful.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm going to name drop here, but I had
A fancy friend that you text back.
text back immediately. Pee Wee Herman invited me over to we were going to go out to dinner. He said, yeah, just stop by my house. And so I walk up and his house is like, it's all kind of, he's got lots of plants and everything everywhere. And it's very kind of natural. And so you're making your way through this narrow path and it's lots of, shrubs that have grown out, and you get to the door, and I finally got to the door, and I knocked on the door, and he let me in, and we chatted for a little bit, and he was like, okay, it's time to go. And he stepped outside, and he put on giant special boots. And I said, what are those for? And he said, oh, rattlesnakes all over the place. So when I walk to the car, I wear these, and I said, and it was the same path that I had just come up on. And I'm wearing, open-toed sandals and short shorts. Because that's how I roll. And
with little dead mice hanging off.
Yeah, exactly. With bacon wrapped around them. And I was like, Paul, you didn't. He was like, oh, you're probably okay.
Well, that seems excessive. Okay, so it's not like we have ours just like greeting you at the door, but we've had like 2 on our property this year. And then tons of gopher snakes. You don't care about those. They're good. They kind of eat all the mice and rats. We did see like a mouse outside. And then we have bunnies. We have a big bunny population in our backyard.
Is a bunny just a rabbit? It's just a nicer term?
Is
it's
a
the
cute
same.
term for rabbit?
Yeah, bunny.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a
bunny.
rabbit.
All right.
It's
I
not-
didn't know if there was a separate,
It's not
in
a
children's
hare.
books, there are bunnies.
Like kitty. It's like kitty.
But there's a hare, and the hare has those big flop
the
ears.
flop.
We don't
Okay.
have those. We definitely have like the cottontail wild bunnies.
Okay.
Then we have a bobcat. We have a mountain lion. We have a family of deer. And one of the deers this year had a baby on our property, which is
so cool.
interesting because
I love that.
it's all beautiful, but we have dogs who don't find it as beautiful as one would. And so the dogs had to get the short end of the stick. Once the baby was born, we were like, you cannot go outside. I'm sorry. And so the dogs had to be constantly like shepherded away until the baby was like old enough to jump the fence back.
I have and I'm not, this is going to sound like a bit, but it's not. I've had like a weird fantasy about wrestling like a bobcat, fighting a bobcat in the wild.
You've brought it up a number of times.
I've brought it up,
That's
but
weird.
I mountain
That's
bike.
weird.
I mountain bike up in the hills, and people have told me, oh yeah, on this trail sometimes you run across like a mountain lion or a bobcat, and I'm like, man, that's a way to go. Like if I just jumped off my bike and the bobcat and I got into it. I don't really want to, but there's part of me that thinks about it a lot. Like me and a bobcat going at it, because then I think I'd get the respect that I'm long.
No, you'll die so fast.
I know, but think about the funeral. People are like, he was
An idiot.
Yeah, he
No,
was
they'll be like, he's an idiot.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Conan, that's not the way you want to go.
I also think you
Really?
you're
You think it would
thinking-
all be idiot? Wouldn't anybody?
No.
Wouldn't Johnny Knoxville be like, man, I got to go to that funeral?
I think you're
No.
also thinking
No.
of a mountain lion because a bobcat is basically like this.
Yes,
big.
the little one. I
You
want the little one. I
Yeah.
want to fight a very small animal.
A house cat, perhaps?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm constantly trying to. We have 2 cats. I'm constantly trying to corner it and fight
Yeah,
it.
there you go. You can train.
Yeah.
That's normal.
You're right. We got to get the size of the animal correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if I'm killed by an animal that literally is about like 8 inches long, and then no one's coming to my funeral,
Guinea
right?
pig.
Yeah,
Guinea pig? He got mauled by a guinea
yeah.
pig?
Conan got into it with there was a hamster that got loose from an elementary school.
And still, he was a bit much.
Conan got off his bike.
Oh my
The
God.
hamster thought, Conan's a bit much. He seems a little coked up, and they fought, and Conan lost.
Hi, my name is Mila Kunis, and I feel irrelevant about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
Irrelevant?
Yes, because you have so many friends.
No, I don't, actually.
You have so many friends.
I don't. Do you really think I do? Because
Yeah.
I don't. I have a lot of acquaintances.
Everyone claims to be your friend. Conan,
But-
the amount of times I've heard, oh, Conan's my friend.
Do they say that, my friend? He's my friend. Conan's my good friend. He's my friend. You're down south a lot. I think you said, what was last time?
Indifferent.
Indifferent.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we've gone from indifferent to irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Well, sometimes it takes you a while to text me back.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I feel like there's something we can work on. We can build off of this.
We had a text thing going recently because I saw BJ Novak's movie,
Yeah.
Vengeance.
Which is fantastic.
And I texted you to just tell Ashton that I thought he killed it in that movie. He was so good.
yeah.
And then we started going back and forth, and it was
And
just,
then you just left me.
I ghosted
You ghosted me. Yeah.
I did.
You
I
ghosted
totally
me.
ghosted you. But then I went around yelling at people, I just ghosted Mila Kunis. Isn't that cool? Like, doesn't that make me a cool person? No one thought that it was cool. By the
No?
way.
Okay.
I'll pay you a compliment. You are one of the nicest and most real people I've met that's in this business. You may actually have the top slot.
Really?
Yes. Seriously, since the day I met Mila years ago when you came and did the show, and then I think we chatted afterwards about where you thought you could get like the cheapest T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
And I swear to God, there's a saying in show business that, well, that person went through the machine.
Yeah.
You've heard that
Yeah.
saying where like people get started, and I saw it so many times on my show, and I won't name names, but I saw people come up when they were really young and they were a guest on the show and they had just hit and they were so full of life. And then the next time I saw them, like a year later,
Yeah.
they were cautious. They kind of looked different.
Yeah.
Publicists had been working on them, and it's called going through the machine, and it can sometimes be sort of a sad experience. And I swear to God, you have never changed. And even today, I'm outside when you pull up here at the podcast studio, and you've got your food, and you're like, is it okay if I eat my food? And then you start chatting about your vacation,
Yeah.
and you're talking to everybody in the office, and that is rare.
Oh,
It is.
that's sad. But I think I got really lucky. I
Why?
really do. I never was screwed up. I did dumb things, like, don't get me wrong, but I think that I came up at a time before social media.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was turning, call it like 1920, was the beginning of Perez Hilton. And I coined a lot of this going through the machine of like being cautious and now everybody has to worry about what they say, how they say, what they look, because everything is so documented. I didn't have that.
Right.
And so I was still able to be lazy, for the lack of it. Like, I didn't have to try to be anything other than myself because it wasn't being documented anywhere. And I feel really bad for anyone who's coming up now who's like 16, 15 even, whatever, to like 25, because it's such a growing period in your life, and to have that be blasted. And now with this idea that we are holding people responsible for what they said 10 years ago.
Yeah.
None of that. I mean, you know, you can't do it's anyways, it's I got very lucky. And I have awesome parents.
I don't think I ever had a crazy period, but yeah, if I was a known person when I was 15. There would have been a lot of, you know, Conan buying acne cream.
Yeah, but also, like, don't you think at 15...
Stealing acne cream.
Conan, you would never steal.
I wouldn't. I
know.
But my assistant would.
That's why you have one.
Yeah. I steal.
But don't you think that... this is a whole other podcast to unravel.
I just need to clarify I don't steal anymore.
You don't
I stopped
steal.
stealing. No.
Did you ever steal?
I did. I used to have like a shoplifting thrill.
Like what?
Like little bracelets from Express or a headband from Urban Outfitters.
Just to be like, I did it.
Yeah. Just for the thrill.
Yeah, we've actually wanted to do a remote where I make her go back to all the stores that she stole from and confess and return the merchandise, which I think would be, that thing would go viral if we put that out there. But you have twin boys now who are a year old. Yeah. And there's always the worry that they will grow up knowing their mother is the criminal she is. So
well, you bring it up all the time, so they're going to know regardless.
She brought her kids to the studio the other day, Mikey and Charlie, and beautiful 1-year-old boys, and I just am playing with them and shouting, "Your mother stole it."
Yeah. So awful.
I oddly believe it.
It's true.
It did happen. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm a terrible person.
Very on brand, Conan.
I do think even if you had grown up in this age, you'd have figured it out, because you just have that quality of you're always yourself.
Yeah.
That's a gift. And I think in this town, that's such an asset to just know who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah.
And you know what's important to you.
Yeah.
So yes, you did a lot of crazy things when you were 15.
I mean, crazy. I was still, in comparison to other children, I was a very good kid. Like, I worked, so I had responsibilities, so you can only be so crazy or I wouldn't have a job. And I loved what I did.
It says here you flew cocaine into Miami.
that was different. That was just me fighting myself.
I know it's a job. You got paid.
Yeah, that was
hundreds
different.
of thousands of dollars.
That was experimental. Can you imagine if I ever did? What would I've never done hardcore drugs. It's just
no, me neither.
Everybody thought I did when I was a teenager. They really, every time I went out to a club, and I used to go to like clubs. I didn't drink. I mean, I would have like, if someone snuck me like a vodka soda, I'd have a couple sips. But I was responsible because I knew I had to drive home. But everybody would go to the bathroom and they'd be like, "You got some?" And I was like, "Oh, do you need like a tampon?" Like, what do you mean? Like I was, and they were like, blah blah blah. I was like, I'm so sorry. I kept apologizing. I'm so sorry. I don't do that.
Yeah.
My whole life, and no one. Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this before, but in college, I didn't do anything, and I walked into a room once, and it was a scene out of like Pretty in Pink, where the bad guys are all wearing white tuxedo jackets. But I walked into a room, and it's like 3 guys in white tuxedo jackets with their ties undone, and they were cutting up lines, and they were like, "Hey man, you want some Coke?" And I said, "My father's a doctor. He says it interrupts the heart rhythm."
Oh my God.
And they were like, they looked at me and I went, "Interferes with the neural signals."
You know what a nerd I am, and I want to pound you.
I know. Trust me. I gave him a lecture on interrupting the heart rhythm. You guys have always said Adam, started the band. He was initiated it. Was he the one that said we could do this?
I wasn't there. I don't know.
I was. Yeah.
Were you ever in the Beastie Boys?
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah. No, you could. There's videos.
I'll vouch for you.
You were there 88 to 89. I remember.
Yeah.
And you were replaced by a
solid
lookalike.
year.
Yeah.
It was like Fast and Furious 7.
Well, Adam, before he was in Beastie Boys, he was in a band called The Young and the Useless. But And
Nothing.
before there was Beastie Boys, I was in this band called the Young Aborigines, which I guess is probably a name that would get us canceled. Like, is that an appropriationist
Just keep
name?
going.
I mean, I'm just saying, you have to be honest about these things, like full disclosure, right? Cultural appropriation.
Again, I wasn't there.
I was in a band called Cultural Appropriation.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, we killed it.
Anyway, so Young Aborigines, Yauk was our, like, everything. He was our road crew tour he was the only one who knew actually how to make things work, honestly. And we played 2 gigs in one night, and then we broke up. And it was John Barry, who was the first guitar player before Adam from the Beastie Boys, and myself and Kate Schellenbach, who was the original drummer for Beastie Boys. She played percussion in Young Aborigines, and I played drums. But then Yauk, like, really, it's not even so much he wanted to be in that band, but he wanted to be in the band. So he's like, all right, we're starting a new band. So then it was like John, myself, and him, and then Kate, and then I was the one who I drew the short straw, and so I had to sing, which I really didn't.
Wait, the
want
short straw is
to
the
do.
singer?
In my case, I didn't want. I definitely would have way rather at that time would have rather played drums.
Yeah.
That would have been my ideal, but didn't work out that
Wasn't
way.
to be.
No. Anyway, so then, but Yauk was, I mean, he was the visionary in terms of like, we're going to do this. And Adam and I could go back and forth in many, we could talk story for hours about how Yauk was a master manifester. I mean, at that age, I definitely didn't know what the word manifest meant, but you know, he was really someone who was just completely determined to do something and would get it done. I think beyond probably I don't know, we were a little more like, oh yeah, seems like a good idea to us. We'll do it.
Or just like, you know, you're with your friends, you're like, oh, we should do this thing. And like nobody like does anything after just, we should do this thing. But then he'd show up with like a camera and film. Like, I guess we're actually going to do the thing that we were talking about.
Thank you. Yeah. It's like, you know, that thing about you're with your friends and they're like, how many times you're with your friends and somebody says the crazy idea and you're like, yeah, okay. That just becomes one of the 1,000 crazy ideas that never, ever happens.
99.9% of kids your age say, we should do this thing. And then they smoke more weed and they don't do anything.
No.
And then
I think that that's I don't know, I was going to go somewhere with that, but
go ahead.
You have to single out the potheads. I
know.
feel like that's like,
why are you attacking the potheads? You know?
I don't know. I
feel like math kids, you know, like
You're right.
They're not always doing the stuff.
You're right.
They're always like doing the crazy ideas.
You know what? You're right.
You know?
I
The
apologize.
potheads are smoking the pot. The math kids are doing the math.
I think you're right, and I'd like to apologize.
Okay.
And I'm also
I know.
apologizing.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
why
just
is
your
he
eyesight.
looking?
I'm
why is he
apologizing.
looking at
I
you?
want to apologize to Sona because she's
I partake.
you don't just
And
partake.
I'm unapologetic. I
You're
get
probably
things
fucked
done.
up now. You have twins.
I do.
Yeah.
They're so young, but they're also why I do it. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's fine. I had the chance to have a really nice, lovely conversation with Adam on the Warner Brothers lot. I want to say it was about a year before he passed away. He was there directing, I believe, a video, some project. And I could tell he wasn't well, but I was coming out of the commissary. He was going into the commissary, and we just had like this nice bonding conversation. It wasn't that long, but it was when we just first showed up at the Warner Brothers lot to do that iteration of whatever the hell we were doing, and seemed like an absolutely lovely guy. But it's always been clear to me that you call him the manifesto or the catalyst, the person who's, you've got all the ingredients. You just need someone to create the friction or set the, get the thing moving. And it felt like in you guys are saying that may have been Adam.
Yeah, but it's honestly beyond that, because it really was like he was the guy who would have the craziest fucking idea that anybody would possibly have in the room, and then like exactly what Adam said, then show up the next day with the equipment that would make it all possible, and then you're doing it. So it's
We didn't do all of the stuff that he was saying, though.
Thankfully, yeah.
You know, he wanted to do a tour underwater, and luckily that never.
Yeah.
How was that going to work?
Yeah, I
Did you ever
know.
say?
He really
Yeah, there was
thought
like
about it, had drawings and
Yeah.
everything.
There was a lost city of Atlantis fascination that went on for a while.
Like, actually.
Yeah.
Did he believe the lost city of Atlantis existed?
It's not
No,
about
it wasn't
that. It's
about
just,
Atlantis.
it's
I
just-
see. Okay.
It's just
All
this
right.
idea of like having this underwater, presenting we're doing on tour in an underwater environment. And I granted, I would give it to him. Had we done it, nobody else has ever done it prior. And there's probably a lot of good reasons for that,
Yeah, logistically, it's just a lot.
There's no oxygen down there.
Yeah.
No, and with the
Oxygen.
tank, and then you have to
Yeah,
rap at the same time with the
Yeah.
oxygen.
Yeah.
It's hard
I
going
mean-
out, going in.
And call
It's hard.
me old fashioned, but I think like, when I was a kid, I was always told like, water, electricity, kind of keep the two
That's
separated.
never been proven.
Yeah.
Never been proven.
Wait, so if you were at the end now,
Mm-hmm.
so then what's the thing you'd say after I would exit? Because now we're friendly. We go, oh, that was fun. That was good.
Okay, so we're
What's
going to
the
pretend you're
real
not
assessment?
here.
Yep.
For 7. Okay, pretend that. Okay,
We're done.
Mike just left, and we're going to leave him on, but we take these off.
Mhm.
Door shuts.
I have to go to the bathroom.
So do I.
You always have
that's
to go
what
to the
we.
bathroom.
That's what we would first say.
Okay, but
Yeah.
then let's say it's after that, and we're just sitting here.
Okay.
Get a quick snack.
Yes, you guys get snacks. I'm trying to get us past that
Okay.
to the part where we
Okay.
talk about Mike Birbiglia.
Okay.
Oh wow, what'd you guys think?
Well, I really liked him because he had a Team Sona mug and he had questions for us. That's why I really liked it, because of that. He had me at the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, I already was a huge fan, but being in a room with the person, he's so smiley, and that makes you feel so good.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah.
You loved him.
I loved him, and I'll
Oh.
say, I don't say take care. I'm saying I loved him.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm a big fan, and I really admire his body of work.
Yeah.
And I think he's a true comedic artist. However,
Uh-oh.
Oh.
he read personal texts between me and him without my
I
permission,
see.
and that felt like a violation.
Oh.
That felt like, and now I'm supposed to text him again and trust him
No,
when
you-
I'm in Brooklyn.
No.
How am I supposed to trust him now that he doesn't then go on Stern or some other?
the
Hey
Daily
guys, what's
Beast.
going on? I'm back.
Hey, you fucking killed it.
Oh, thank you
You
so much.
killed
I
it.
thought it was fun.
Hey,
I
loved
thought-
it. Loved it.
Oh,
And
did you?
the text thing was fantastic.
Did you like that? Because I
Yes.
was gonna maybe ask you before, but I thought it would be more spontaneous in the moment.
No, you don't need to ask.
All right, thanks, you guys.
All right,
Appreciate
good.
it.
So anyway, remove the text part because I come off like cranking out the pause. I just sound like a prick.
Sorry, I left my notes.
Hey, how are you?
Wait, you say that you didn't like the text part?
No,
you
no,
did
no,
like
no.
the text
I
part.
said I
how
wish
short it was.
I wish there was more, and
Yeah.
I said double it. Have it play twice in one podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, killer.
All right, thanks so much.
But
you
you're
guys.
going for sure now, right? Do you
Yep,
mind if I
I'm
walk
out.
you out and then lock the door?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm just going to shut the
absolutely.
door.
Okay.
Here we go. And then I'm locking it and double bolting it.
Now I want to change my opinion. He's
Yeah,
a little
me too.
pushy.
He's pushy and he
Kind of a
keeps
dick.
coming in back in.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Someone got a hydraulic drill?
Hey guys, Jesus! I left my glasses.
You weren't even wearing glasses.
I know. But I thought I should start.
That's a $35,000 door, asshole!
Oh, now I know how you really feel, Buddha. You demanded I call you Buddha in the interview. That's the part I left out.
I told you if you could mention in that I'm a comedy Buddha and that you all feel that way, I'd really appreciate it, and you'd get $500 worth of coffee pods.
Well, they never showed up. Thanks for nothing, assholes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard real improvisation. None of this was planned, and yet it happened. Not a fan.
Not a fan of you. Don't like you. Don't like Sona. I'm okay on Adam.
We're getting you a Team Adam mug. By the way,
he's okay on you.
we're getting Let's get a mug. Let's get a mug.
Not mentioned.
Let's get one mug made that says Matt Gourley. Sorry. Matt Gourley and Mike Birbiglia are okay with Adam Sachs. What about that?
No. That's gonna sell.
That's gonna be our biggest seller.
Yeah, fill it full of copods.
Cobra Big's pods.
So seriously, I'm gonna make
Rolls
this.
off your tongue.
I'm making
Cobra
this
Big's
for real.
pods.
Can you for real?
Do you or do you not want to purchase Cobra Big's
Do
pods?
not.
But let me ask you again.
Do not.
Let me phrase it. Let me
Okay.
give
How
you the
did you
skill.
get back in here?
One bean, one
Leave
bag of
the
dust.
room.
Leave the room.
Cobra Big's
Security!
There's no security here.
Cobra Big's
You're
pods.
big.
There's no security.
Get him out.
Are you putting the door back on or are you taking it
I
off?
came through the ceiling.
Oh my God.
What's
He
happening?
came to the ceiling with Rip Taylor energy. I came to the ceiling. He's got confetti. So the Netflix special, it's out. How long does it take you to work on this on the next show?
Yeah, so I'm about
First of all,
a year
you
into the
need
next
some
show.
stuff to happen to you, right? Do you need me
Yeah,
to like shoot you in the
true.
shoulder, which would that would be like a good 20
Let's
minutes?
head to Urban Air.
Yeah.
Do you need me to shoot you in the shoulder?
No, but I mean, can you imagine?
That's when Conan said to me, "Do you need me to shoot you in the shoulder?" And sure,
With a
Conan,
20
is,
with a
sure,
tw-
Conan is funny sometimes, but this was a time where it didn't seem like he was making a joke.
I would use a 22. I would use a lower
22.
caliber.
Oh,
yeah.
you would kill him.
God.
You're acting
No,
like
I'd
you're
get
a
him.
marksman, but you don't shoot.
Oh, come
you go
on.
shooting, you're gonna kill him.
Which,
All right.
Oh, 50-50 chance he gets killed.
Okay.
But you get a ton of material. out of
Okay,
it.
so to
and then
answer-
I come on at the end of the show and we hug. That's a big show.
By the way, that's another handoff that I think that we could pull off in 2024 is if you end up, because you were talking about going out and doing a whole bunch of live dates, maybe
Yep.
even stand up.
Right.
If you do that, I want to pop into some of those shows.
I would love to have you do that.
I would love it.
Well, you're
That's
saying that now.
Be my dream.
Would it?
Conan, all the jokes aside,
Oh, no.
and you have to deal with this all the time. This is the bane of your existence. There's a generation of us comedians who view you as the Buddha of comedy.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well.
You're old.
and apparently fat.
Yeah.
I'm apparently fat
Yeah.
and old.
I'm sorry I ruined it.
No, you actually.
I'm sorry I
no,
ruined
no, Sona. You. That was exactly
Paula
what I
Davis
needed.
on my way in gave me a compliment, and because I've known Paula forever
Sure.
since your late night.
So
days.
Paula's been with me 30 years.
Yeah, and she gave me a compliment, and I basically said, if you stick around long enough in show business, eventually they let you just stay. And she goes, "You and Conan are the best at batting away compliments." Yeah, but you are. You're the.
Oh,
You're,
well, thank you very
So
much.
yeah, that would be.
I don't. It doesn't process. You know what? You know what's nice. You know what does process for me. I don't take it for granted that, like, seeing you last night and Jimmy and Jesus Christ, Marty Short, who is funny in a way that always makes me question, like, how can anybody be that funny in so many ways?
Yeah.
But just to like run into you guys and just be joking around, and then on the ride home realize that I get to like get to be around all these very funny people who are really creative, and it's nice. What a fucking joy.
This is how much I idolize Martin Short. So we're at dinner, and I don't eat onions or tomatoes.
Mm-hmm. And you went to an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, and I get mocked. I get mocked by my family, including my daughter and 8-year-old daughter, because she eats more stuff than I do. But with Marty Short, I'm just going full onions, tomatoes. You know what I mean? I can't be that person.
Well, also, there's a moment where you realize you've made a mistake around Martin Short because he is, when you walk, if you're in a museum or something and you're in a room alone and you're really still and then you move slightly, a little red light goes up, those motion sensors, and the red light's just going to register movement and they can pick up the slightest movement. Marty Short is one of those for someone making a mistake.
Yeah.
The smallest mistake. And I think I've mentioned this, but I have to mention it again, which is on one of the last late night shows I did a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. I'm driving to a rehearsal and Marty Short, which was my dream, agreed to come on and do this bit where he sings a song to me at the end about how I've always been the only one, like for him, that kind of Bette Midler, Johnny Carson tribute song. And then I revealed to him that he's actually sung this to, he did it for Letterman when he went off the air, and then he did it for all these other people. And Marty Short shot all these great pre-tapes. And we said, you did it on when Springer ended, and there's a huge, and we could put him into all these. You did it when they retired the Shamrock Shake at McDonald's or something. We did it. We put it into so many ways that he had done it. Anyway, that was the bit, and it was a really hot day, and I never wear shorts. And this day, I just threw on some like cargo shorts that were above the knee, and I'm driving in to the Largo Theater to tape the last show, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm wearing shorts today. Well, I never wear shorts. People might give me a hard time. It'll be fine. And then I suddenly remembered, I thought, wait, who's on the show today? And I remembered it was Martin Short. And my heart stopped. I was in the car on La Cienega and I'm like, oh, fuck. And sure enough, I'm in their rehearsal and the double doors open up and Marty comes in and he's like, hello all. And everyone's like, yay, Martin Short. We're just going to rehearse. And he goes, young Conan. And he's wearing shorts. And then he did maybe 20 minutes of pure destruction and humiliation. And it was fantastic. And of course, everyone who works for me was crying, laughing so hard.
Yeah, no, there's a few people like that. Bill Hader's like that.
Yep.
Where you have to be aware that whatever you're saying or doing is being clocked with a deep sensitivity. He does an impression of me that's so cruel that my wife Jenny loves, which is this is the whole impression. He goes, but it was my car. That's the whole impression. It's nothing that I say. It's nothing I've said in any joke, but it was my car. Bill is just beyond. He's on another planet.
Yeah.
Of funny.
But also just knowing that you're around these people who have a superpower that they'll notice something, the slightest.
Yeah.
I misspoke slightly, or I had this little tick, and they're like, delicious.
Yeah.
You're like that.
Yeah, you are like that.
Not at all.
Oh.
Anyway, moving on. Not at all. Not at all. And I love you both.
But I value that too. Like, I feel so lucky. Like, my first taste of that, in addition to like my own family, like you're saying, was when I got to college, and I was like, is there a sketch comedy group? Because I wanted to write comedy, like on late night. And they said there isn't, but there's an improv group. I don't know what that is. And I auditioned. I got in. And when I got in, I was like, oh, these are 10 people who are like that, who are just like, we're going to make fun of everything. We're going to do impressions of everything. We're going to be very annoying, but also kind of amazing. And those are like some of my closest friends to this day.
I've always thought, and this goes for everybody here, like, I always tell my kids that the journey is finding your people. Like, that's the journey. The journey is, there's little, it's you set off into the world, and then it's just collecting people that, inspire you, whatever, charge you in some way. And then at the end, it is like one of those movies, those travelogue movies where the person heads out in the beginning and at the end they've got like this group of people that have different powers, but they've befriended them along the way. I don't know.
Which brings me to my final point, which is that Conan and I have finally found each other.
Oh.
And Copods is going to be a huge success.
Yeah, I love
I don't know.
No, these are.
What do you
these-
mean you don't
just
know?
crank
give it
it
a
out.
I just
Pods.
crank out these pods, man.
Uh-huh.
One bag of dust.
Yeah, I hear
Their
it.
cost to ratio, I mean, it's incredible.
Huge in
understand.
Brazil.
Oh.
These are huge in Brazil.
Look, I'm fine with him taking a dive on that. I feel like I don't want you to
That's
have
a
to.
joint venture.
Oh.
Yeah, joint venture meaning
We
you
see-
put up most of the cash.
I put up 90% of the money.
Oh no,
and
Yeah.
incur most of the risk.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no!
Yeah,
I
you
say
think-
no. Don't.
All right.
Well, Buddha's not taking a risk over here.
Buddha's sitting on his fat ass.
I'm going to start using that.
Wait,
I'm
so-
Buddha! That's not something Buddha would say. Hello and welcome to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. Sitting here as always with Sona Movsesian,
Mm-hmm.
Matt Gourley.
Hi.
We have a wonderful team here. It works very hard. An inside source has told me that instead of doing his job, Eduardo's watching football. Are you watching football right now?
Oh shit!
Eduardo, what are you watching?
Bitch.
Eduardo, what are you? Eduardo,
I thought you were my boy.
Eduardo,
This whole time.
Eduardo, what are you watching?
Nothing.
No, what are you watching? We're about honesty here.
Listen,
Wow.
we just wrapped an interview
Yeah,
with a guest,
uh-huh.
and I respectfully waited until that
Why don't
wrapped.
you just tell me what you're watching?
I'm watching the semifinals of the UEFA Champions League right now. It's a game between Barcelona and Inter
Play.
Milan.
Excuse me, it's Barcelona.
Barcelona and Inter Milan.
Blade.
Wow, Blade, fuck you, man.
But so listen. How dare you, Eduardo? How dare you? All I do is laud you for your professionalism. I think you're the only professional one here. And then I find out that you're watching Barcelona play who? Los Estadios del Dandos?
Inter Milan, and they just scored. Thank
Okay,
you very much.
Listen, let me tell you something.
You
The
missed
playing-
it.
Yes.
Oh! You missed it. Who are you rooting for?
Barcelona.
It's Barcelona. Por favor. God, I wish you'd learn the language.
White splaining.
Excuse me? I am white
I
splaining
knew it. I
to
knew it.
Eduardo.
It's a new term.
So you had the gall. You're in the presence of Conan O'Brien. We're making a seminal podcast, and you are watching football.
You were on your fifth bit, and I decided
Go get yourself. You're gonna let him talk to you like
Exactly.
that? You're gonna let him talk to
You and I are both. Oh, look at this. We are all channeling the same scene. Goodfellas, and Spider just dissed.
Man.
Of course, I would be.
Yeah, Tommy.
I'd be Tommy.
Yeah.
I'd be Tommy.
And
you're gonna let him talk to you like that. You're gonna let him talk to you like that. And now, of course, you know where this goes.
Yes.
I start
About to
shooting
get
away
shot.
at you.
this is a rite of passage because this exact scenario happened to me early on in the podcast as well, where I was Spider, and now you got
It's a rite of passage, and now you have to be shot
Yeah,
in the foot.
Fair.
yeah.
And then you come back later on with a bandage on your foot, and I kill you. Listen, I know I do a lot of bits, and they seem like a waste of time to you. And I'm sure football, as you call it, I call it soccer here in the United States. It's more important to you. But you know what? You do such a good job. I think you should be allowed to watch
Thank you.
football.
Thank you.
While I'm,
Oh,
I
We all
do.
watch-
just,
I'm
I'm going to
just
put something on my
put
TV.
some
No,
YouTube
no.
on.
Yeah,
But what would you? First of all, Eduardo, mad respect
Thank you.
for your comeback and also for your devotion to the most popular sport in the world.
That's right.
Or as I call it, El Mundo. Sona, what would you be secretly watching if you were secretly watching while we were doing the podcast?
Love is Blind.
Okay. Is that a good show?
I mean, I only really watched the first season, really.
It's harsh though, right?
It's pretty intense.
Because people say yes to somebody and then
Yeah.
they see what they look like
Yeah.
and they turn them down.
Some of them do, yeah. It
Oh,
just, I
boy.
mean, it's, is love blind? Is it?
That's a wow. That's
It's
a profound
such
question, and it's the title of the show.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we really down under?
What?
Above deck?
Below deck.
Oh shit. And what about you? What are you watching
Oh,
over
I'm
there?
just watching Casino Royale as we speak.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah,
This is when we are first introduced to Daniel Craig
pretty good, huh?
as Bond, and he
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah, he did.
He really killed it. This
Yeah.
is the great scene where he's chasing. Okay, so that's what you're watching.
Parkour scene, yeah.
Or I'd watch YouTube.
You know what I'd be watching?
Huh.
clips of my show.
Oh my God.
Classic Conan.
Oh my God.
You guys would see me not really paying attention, and then you'd take my phone away from me. Oh, there's Conan talking to Al Roker in 2004.
Yeah.
Not even a particularly good interview. But me going, look at him. Conan's got sideburns. That just kills me. That's great. Oh, what's he going to say now? Oh, look at him. He's only 32.
Oh my God.
Listen, you're a maestro at what you do.
Thank you.
And I'm going to turn this back around to a compliment. You're a maestro. And all I think what Blade did essentially was expose that you can do this job with one hand tied behind your back.
Interesting. I'm still pissed. I'm sorry.
I know you're legitimately angry at Blade.
Yes, I think that was a foul move.
Boy, you ratted him out.
Well,
What did Eduardo do wrong?
Now, because we are real people. Now fans get to listen to the eventual
Get
payback.
back. That's right.
The get back.
Okay.
And
Watch
when's
your
it going to happen? How's it going to happen? We don't know.
But I thought we all had a tacit understanding that it's us against him. And when you feed the beast like that and break the union, you know.
Also, can I say this? It's
Yeah.
not only that, it's worse. Because
he's not even on your side, and you just gave him
but
this.
listen to me. It's worse because I check out the occasional Reddit thread. I know what the word is on the street.
You do?
Eduardo is one of the most respected people in this room. The rest of us can be fools and goons. Right. Eduardo has this mellifluous voice. He knows what he's doing. He occasionally speaks. It's always good. He is the one in this room who is the adult, the cool one. You betrayed the Jesus in the room.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, the Jesus.
That makes you Judas.
That makes you Judas.
I'm the Judas. I'm the Judas. Well, you know what? I think I just wanted people to understand Eduardo is more than just an engineer. He's a human being. And I wanted to show another facet of
You're going down.
how-
You're going down.
What do you mean?
And
What do you mean?
Eduardo's coming for you.
No.
And it's going to be, his retribution will be terrible.
Like John Wick, baby.
You just killed his dog.
You killed the puppy.
You killed his puppy.
Yeah.
I think what awaits you, Blay, is horrific. And I tremble just imagining being you.
Oh my God. Eduardo's watching soccer and you're getting mad at Blake. Can you get mad at Eduardo? Please
Add soda
do
to the
something.
list.
Yeah. Sona?
What the fuck? Oh
Sona.
my God.
See, he's tearing us apart. We can't let this happen.
Soccer.
Sona,
You're on the list.
First of all,
you watch TV all the time when
Sona.
you're working.
I know.
You gotta have.
Sona.
How can you not have sympathy
Sona,
for
stop
this?
calling it soccer. It's football.
Oh my God. You just said it's soccer because
It's-
we're in America.
It's football. And I'll tell you
Oh,
something else.
don't say it like that.
Eduardo, that's how you say his name. Eduardo es mi hermano.
No,
Sí, hermano. Dime.
Sí, es mi amigo.
Is he pronouncing your name incorrectly?
No, it was
No,
right.
es Eduardo.
because it's not
No,
C?
it's perfect.
No,
Oh,
es perfecto. No, perfecto. Perfecto. Eduardo is above reproach. And I feigned turning on Eduardo to trick the rest of you to expose what rats you really are.
Oh, remember when the studio wasn't working properly?
Oh,
He
wow.
fucked it up.
Wow,
Remember?
Sona, what
Yes.
are you doing?
Yes.
What are you doing?
I want you to get mad at Eduardo.
Why?
I just want you to get mad at him.
We
This
gotta
is a
stick
sad
together,
side
you
of
guys. We
Remember,
gotta
it
stick
broke.
together.
Something broke.
You know what I love?
We have
It wasn't
nothing if we're
working.
not one.
I
You know,
Remember the audio wasn't working?
Union strong.
Who was here? Who's the guest?
It's Sona.
Oh my God.
Sona. It's called audio.
Oh Jesus!
Listen, I'm going to say one thing, which is I want listeners to look at what just happened here. I was given some information by Blay, which I took. I turned against Eduardo, exposing him and embarrassing him. Then, through a series of deft maneuvers, tricked all of you into bickering
This
with
is
one
what I'm
another.
saying.
Now, and then I became Eduardo's defender, his amigo,
Yes.
and the one who says football and not soccer. And so now I have emerged as the hero of the story. And you are the villain, Sona, as are you, Blay.
You're cool. You're cool. Fuck you. You're
Yes.
cool.
Hey!
I am a matador.
Yeah, fuck you, Blake. I'll turn
Very
against
few
Blake.
movements.
I'll turn against Blake.
Oh, look what he's done to us! Look what he's done to us. This
Please,
is
we
this
have
is sad. And Adam, you're being awfully quiet over
I know,
there.
you're just
Smart.
sitting there quietly.
And
Adam,
you're the,
Adam,
the
deep
real
down.
boss here. And that,
Adam.
were you watching football?
Deep down, you know I'm the maestro, don't you? At manipulating the people around me so that I always come on top.
100%. I'm just being quiet because I'm letting this unfold. This is good content.
You're watching the maestro conduct the orchestra to perfection.
I'm loving it.
Man,
Perfect. You're a good guy too. Eduardo and Adam, you're the good guys in this room. All right. Well, the important thing is, once again, I come out on top. My guest today is a hilarious comedian, writer, director, and actor whose latest special, The Good Life, is now available to stream on Netflix. Very excited he's with us today. He is a fine fellow. Mike Birbiglia, welcome. I do feel like we have maybe 110 different ways in which we intersect, in which we have commonality.
Yes.
I'm hard pressed to think of anyone else who I have more in common with who's not in my family that I have more in common with, because you, sir, Mr. Mike Birbiglia, if that even is your real name, clearly one of those stage names, just to sound cool. You hail from where all my people come from.
Yeah, your people are from Worcester.
Worcester, Massachusetts, and they all went to Holy Cross College, or the Cross,
which is where my dad went.
Yep.
And my dad is a retired doctor. Your parents were doctors.
Yep. No, my dad was a doctor. My mother was a lawyer, not a doctor, and so that's insulting. You come in here and start.
You thought that was insulting? I just thought that was a basic misunderstanding.
You're right. I don't know why I went to insult. That's so weird. But I'm so mad at you right now.
You're so sensitive since the Oscars.
Yes, I am.
I feel like
yes.
You didn't win.
Yeah.
I just want to hold space for Matt and Sona today because I feel like you guys have really probably been through it with Conan's ego this year.
You're not kidding.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that if you host the Oscars, you get an Oscar. And when the night was out, I thought one of you had my Oscar.
Oh.
Or David, and no one had it. And then they said, no, you don't get an Oscar for hosting the Oscars. And did you see the fucking fit I threw backstage?
Everybody heard about it.
I smashed stuff.
Yeah. You hit Ariana Grande in the face.
Well,
with an Oscar.
I tried to, but she's quick. I took a swing at Ariana Grande. She ducked, went under it, and she came back with 2 rabbit punches to the kidney really fast, and I just went down hard. Anyway, you got me distracted on my physical fight with Ariana Grande. We overlap in so many ways.
Yeah, I know.
And let me begin by saying you very kindly sent me your latest special. And I'm going to start with this because I loved it. And I love your work. And you did a one-man show. And I'm going to give it a quick shout out now. It'll also get its own special shout out. It's called The Good Life. And it's on Netflix. And I will say that for my money, nobody does sustained tone in comedy as well as you. You create this beautiful tone that's very funny and then occasionally very meaningful. And it's just a thing of beauty, and you lay it out there. And for just tone alone, I think you might be the reigning champ. I will say that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're hilarious. We've known each other a long time. But I was thinking about, you were talking your special, and I've thought about this before, and we've talked about the ways in which we are alike. But in this special, you're talking about all these things that I relate to 1,000%.
Oh, interesting.
Meaning we come from the same part of the world exactly, which is I grew up in Brookline, Massachusetts, but my parents are both Worcester people. My grandfather was a traffic cop in downtown Worcester, and all my people come from Worcester. And you talk about what it's like growing up with a father who's a physician, a doctor, and how there's a lack of physical affection.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just went through this list of things that I was checking off. You're going through a traumatic thing with your father, who you talk about, he has a stroke. And this is, tell you're in the hands of a master when you're talking about something as powerful as a stroke and a lot of other heavy things. And it's hilarious. It's really good. But I lost both my parents this year within days of each other. Which always sounds like a murder or a motorcycle accident. Literally, my dad passed, and then 3 days later, my mom passed. And you talk about trying to wrap your head around your dad's mortality, but also growing up in a family where people aren't constantly saying I love you. In fact, it's not said, and there isn't a lot of demonstrative physical affection. And then generationally, how you and your wife, me and my wife, every conversation with my kids starts with I love you and them saying I love you, and ends with I love you and them saying I love you.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the middle of the conversation, oh, and just so you remember, I love you. And I mean, it's just too much. That's my point.
Too much,
It's
I love
too
you.
much.
Yeah. Oh.
We're overdoing it.
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
go back a couple of clicks towards our parents' generation.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was very touched by your special, and I mean, it's funny. It will be funny to anyone, but I remember thinking, I'm so glad Mike is coming in today. It is Mike, right?
Mike Birbiglia.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm here.
It says Dennis Leary here.
Booked months ago.
It says Dennis Leary.
I mean, it's fine.
Well, he's also from Worcester.
Yeah.
It just says Worcester
Let's
Comic.
just go ahead and do it. By the way,
Jesus Christ. No, but you
Let the man speak.
Just put up with him. I am going to stop talking now, but
I emailed you the special, and partly because I know we have all those things in common. Like it's an absurd amount of things in common. And then I said, please share this with elite members of your staff, including Matt, Sona, and then I wrote the White Stripes, and then I crossed out White Stripes.
Well, you know, it's also,
and then but then they didn't get it from you.
No,
we got it from
like,
David,
Conan,
and we didn't get that message.
Yeah.
We
Conan
got the
didn't
link,
send it
but
to
not
us.
the message. Yeah.
Where he
and then
calls us elite.
and then
elite.
Who's announced
Yeah.
this morning as being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
The White Stripes, yeah.
Oh,
So
I
it's
didn't know
almost
that.
like you foretold the future.
Yeah.
And a quick shout out to Jack and Meg for that
Oh my
amazing
God.
job,
Bearing
'cause
the lead is that your gatekeeping praise that
That's
came
what
to
I'm
Yes.
us.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know,
I don't know.
And then
I swear to God, every day I'm on my to-do list is get rid of Matt and Sona. And then I just don't get to it.
day?
Every day. It's on the list with like more brown sugar. Well, the granola's running low.
The
Make
problem
sure
with
you
the-
wear
the
denim
problem-
with denim, you
well,
know?
the problem with the problem with that list is that Sona probably goes over the list with you.
I
And
do.
then she's on that
Yeah.
And then,
as being axed.
and then she
Yeah.
turns it into raise for Sona, but
Yes.
never raise for Matt.
No,
Yeah,
not
what's
just
up with
for me.
that?
Well, it's a lot of like, okay, make sure you put this on the list. And I'm like, yeah, whoop, boop, 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 boop. But
And when
I'm
you
not
make
really
that sound
doing
when you write the list, it's a giveaway usually that you're not. It should be a giveaway. Boop, boop, boop,
yeah.
boop, boop.
Also, you're miming holding the pad here and the pen here, so that there's never getting written down.
Excuse
That's how
me,
I do it.
I think this should be about Mike Birbiglia. And
You're
one
right.
thing that I
wow.
Yeah.
I don't think Matt was trying to make it
No.
not be about that.
I don't like it when someone prattles on with their own voice and doesn't let the guests talk, which reminds me of a story. In 1967, I wanted a cat, and my parents took me to the Angel Memorial. Oh, well, that can wait. Mike, there is so much crazy stuff that you talk about that I can relate to, but here's something you talk about in the special, which I'm so glad you brought up, which is our visit to the Pope. By the time this airs, the Pope will have been gone for quite a while. It will no longer be the top story in the news, but you talk about the Pope inviting a bunch of comedians, and we were among that elite squad of comedians that were invited. And it was he spoke to us in Italian, and you talk about this in the special, what he said. And actually it was quite beautiful. It was about comedy and comedy's place. And I thought you did a very nice job, and it's very powerful now that your special's coming out because he is no longer with us.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with what he said to us.
Yeah, he basically said comedy in these divisive times, comedy has the power to unite us, to bring people together. And when you make at least one audience member laugh, God smiles also.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was beautiful.
You know, it's funny. He spoke to us in Italian, so it just sounded like a waiter was telling us our options.
Oh my God.
He actually said tagliatelle at one point. But then
I find that very offensive as an Italian American.
You
should. That's how I meant
that
it.
That your brain just goes to this sort of Italian food stereotypes. It's like after all we've been through, as immigrants in the early 20th century.
Wait a minute. The Irish were immigrants too. Sona came here like 6 weeks ago.
No,
I mean,
he's not
bad on the Irish people.
No, but what I'm saying is he said in his speech, "Oh, you want a meatball?" Remember that part? I'm sorry, which part of this is offensive? Do you remember the part where he ended it with, "God bless you, and do you want a meatball?" Do you recall?
No, I don't remember that part of it.
But weird that I remember.
No, I faintly remember it. Yeah, no, but it was.
I'm trying to make you complicit in my terrible riff.
Did the
Don't
Pope,
you remember?
Did the Pope speak? Did the Pope say anything to you?
They bring us up one by one
that's
in
right.
a line.
True.
And
True story.
And we got a handshake. And
by the way, Chris Rock, Conan, Stephen Colbert, David Sedaris, and in the special I point out, I know I'm at the bottom of the list.
Not so. I didn't like that self-deprecating quip. And I'm not a fan of self-deprecating comedy. But it is really funny that the way both of us found out, which is the way I think all of us found out, is that apparently the second person closest to God, other than the Pope, is comedian Jim Gaffigan.
That's right.
Because say in your special that Jim Gaffigan, that your mother said you were called by God. And you went, no, I actually got a call from Jim Gaffigan. And I remember my
phone was
phone
called by Stephen Colbert, who may have been called by God.
But I think but Gaffigan is like the go-to.
He's in the mix.
Vatican guy.
Yeah.
I think Colbert wants to be the go-to Vatican guy, but I think it might be. I think Gaffigan had performed. I want to say he performed for the Pope.
He opened for the Pope.
He opened for the Pope.
In Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
years ago.
Yes, for real.
True story.
Wait, really?
True story.
Yes, I thought you were doing a bit.
No, he came out and he opened for the Pope.
But
I've opened for the devil on the road.
Okay, you know
6
what?
times.
I get so mad at myself when
Why?
Because I believed he opened for the Pope.
No, he did.
Oh, he did.
He did open for the Pope.
Oh, you did a joke, so I thought you were making fun of me.
Right, but my joke doesn't negate that truth.
It does
It doesn't help. Yeah.
Mamma mia, I'm the Pope.
Yes,
That's the bit. But now I'm saying earnestly to you that Jim Gaffigan opened for the Pope.
Yes.
What?
True story.
No, that is a true story. And Jim Gaffigan is
was the Pope funny to follow Jim Gaffigan?
Well, here's what I hear back is that the Pope that Gaffigan was killing, and the Pope was like, "Get him off stage! Get him off! Get him off!
Going long.
He's going long! I said 7 minutes!
I gave him a little light.
I have a bit about Hot Pockets.
Yeah. Oh no! Step on my Hot Pocket joke! Because the Hot Pocket, what's inside her? As a meatball! Anyway. I started
By the way, he just died. The Pope.
You're
mocking,
but you know what?
You're mocking the Pope with an Italian stereotypical voice. He literally just died. His body's still warm.
No, it's not warm anymore.
Argentina.
No, he's not on a frying. They don't have the.
It's so fresh.
He's not on a frying pan.
No, he's not.
Says Conan respectfully.
No, I'm saying he doesn't have one of those French fry lights on him. He's not still
He's
warm.
Argentinian.
He was born. Yes, he is.
Did the Pope say anything to you when you walked up to him? Because we had a moment with him. Did he say anything to you? Because he said something to me.
All he said to me is, "Oh, who's a babiglia?" And I'm like, he does. It's like a one-man show. It's very good. And he said, "I don't have time." No, I don't. He did not say something to me. We had an exchange. I just said, "Thank you so much, Your Holiness, for having me, and this is an honor," and we shook hands. And I got the impression that it was an assembly line that they were cranking through us. What did he say to you?
For me, it was, it was pretty intense. He leaned in, spoke into my ear. He goes, "You are Jesus." And now he's dead, and so nobody can substantiate this. But it's like, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure you know what, the whole thing's on tape.
Yeah, I guess.
I thought maybe he said, "Let me tell you something. These other guys are fuckers, but you really."
He was like,
this impression.
He was like,
awful.
"I like the Leno. Maybe I'm a Leno guy."
He went away and he come back, just like Jesus.
When he came back in the 10 o'clock slot, I thought, is anybody even watching this?
It was, I have to tell you.
Oh my God, what happened to you?
Listen, now, first of all, can I say something?
He was so mad at
But
first.
can I say something? Sona, you are correcting two people for their Pope impression.
the only two people in the room who met and spoke to the Pope.
Oh,
We are
okay.
doing an exact
This is
replica
accurate.
of what he sounded like.
Okay. Okay.
We're
sorry.
professionals.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
This is how
We're
the Pope
Even though
reporters.
he's not even Italian. So that's the thing that's really
No, but he
surprising.
spoke Italian.
Okay, but he had an Italian accent when he spoke English?
You know what? He actually does the voice of, it's a me, Mario. He does. That's him.
In fairness, in the special, I am guilty of saying
Yippee!
of saying who's that? I'm gonna make a pizza on the Eucharist. Which I'm sure if my dad ever sees the special, he will not like.
I've always believed that your home should be an expression of who you are. I have that like tattooed on my low back. I could have had so many things tattooed down there, and that's what I chose.
Down there.
Yeah. Anyway, whether you're redecorating a single space or furnishing your entire home, Ashley has styles that balance timeless appeal and modern trends to bring your personal look home. You don't want it to look like someone else decorated your home.
Yeah.
Ashley offers, good job, Sona. Ashley offers, don't know how I do it without you. Ashley offers well-crafted, affordable pieces built to stand up to real life, not phony pretend life. They offer fast, reliable white glove delivery right to your door.
Nice.
Ding dong, hello. Hey, what are you guys wearing white gloves for? We're here from Ashley. Whoa, you guys are wearing white gloves. That's right. We said white glove service. You sure did. You guys kept your promise. Visit your local Ashley store or head to ashley.com to find your style. Anyway, I'm glad we took care of the Pope, I think. We took care of the Pope. But it was a lovely experience to be there. And it wasn't just American comedians. We were a small contingent. It was comedians from all around the world.
From all around the world. And then I met Liza, your wife. I met your son.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a question, which is, because, the special's all about what can I teach my daughter and what have I learned from my dad?
Yep.
And so my question for you is, your son is great.
Yeah.
What did you do right? What do you think you did right?
I will give, all joking aside, not all joking, I'm sure I'll get back around to it, but my wife is, and you will back me up on this, because you've known her for a long time, but everyone here, she is a lovely person, just a great soul, and she was just, and is such an amazing mom. I think I'm a good dad, but I think she is the stellar parent. You know what I mean? And so I give her a lot of credit. But I also think you talk about this, which I think is really nice, because I can't stress enough, the special is very funny, but then there are these just great nuggets in there that burble up of wisdom and thoughtfulness. And you talk a lot about just modeling good behavior.
Yeah.
That kids pick up on everything, and your kids have watched you and your wife be decent people.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any replacement for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? My kids have seen me be inept, clumsy. They've seen me make an ass of myself. In different ways. They're continually shocked that I seem to have made something of myself in the world. But I don't think they've seen a lot of bad behavior from me. And I mean, and look, Matt, Sona, you guys have kids. I think that is 90% is monkey see, monkey do.
Mm-hmm.
Kids look at their parents, and you talk about it in your special that you've kind of tried to just be nice, good people, right?
Yeah, I mean, because when I was a kid, I joke in the special, but it's true. Is that when I was a kid, my dad was a doctor. In his free time, he got his law degree, and I go, "That's how much he didn't want to be a dad." He's like, "What can I do in these slots of time when I would be parenting?"
Yep.
I go, in fairness, we weren't great kids. We always wanted a dad, and he wanted another secondary degree. Our goals were at odds. But that was one of the things about being a kid. Is like my dad was very serious about his job, and then he would every now and then he would just shout. He's just very old school. And I feel like I've always grappled with that. I've always thought if I'm ever a parent, and I'm now a parent, I'm just never going to do that.
Yep.
And it wasn't just my dad. I mean, in Massachusetts, I'm sure you saw this all the time. The parents were wild.
Well, I recognized this part too, which is my dad, incredibly sweet. And, when we're kids, he had a temper and he would uncork sometimes. And it was... I think it was a kind of generational. Like my dad, again, you talked in your special about, you said your dad didn't, instead of being sent off to fight in Vietnam because he was in medicine, they sent him to Texas.
Yeah, to be on a base.
The exact same thing happened to my dad in the Korean War.
Oh, no kidding.
So he was sent to Texas. And he didn't really do anything that had anything to do with the military. So when my dad passed, we read in the instructions that he had left that when he and my mom died, the instructions were like, he wanted like the full military honors at the funeral, which he's entitled to.
Yeah.
And so I gave the eulogy for my dad. My brother Luke gave the eulogy for my mom because it was a double funeral. And I said, first of all, let's get something straight, because there's like a big flag on his coffin and and I just said, my dad was in the Army the way Captain Crunch was in the Navy. And the reason I felt okay with that is I think that would have really made my dad laugh.
Yeah,
and when my dad laughed, he grabbed his shoulders, and because it was all about you don't want to express too much. It's not just too much emotion. Also joy, everything's kind of bottled up in this Catholic way.
Oh yeah,
and so he would uncork sometimes and get angry and frustrated. And I remember thinking, it's just generational. I'm sure he had witnessed that with his parents. I just don't ever want to be that dad. I didn't want to be angry dad.
Me neither. So one time I said to my daughter, when my dad, one day I was emotional about something. Like I was like, I don't know if we should do the, and then my daughter goes, Dad, why are you yelling? I go, oh, this isn't yelling.
I know what yelling is.
I go, just so you know, when I was a kid, my dad, and I literally said to her, I'm gonna shout right now. This isn't me shouting. I'm doing an impression of my dad. He would go, where are my goddamn keys? And she was like, oh my God. And she was like, he's not shouting like that now. And I'm like, you're stealing my jokes.
Yeah.
That's straight out of the special. Yes. She's really got it.
For my dad, in the famous Laura and Arf, there's a special spoon that has a serrated edge for eating grapefruit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a grapefruit spoon. It has a little serrated edge, so you can. And there was one in our house, and my dad liked to use it to eat his grapefruit in the morning. And one morning, he couldn't find his grapefruit spoon, and just listen to the guy narrate the explosion of the Hindenburg. It's a little similar. And so we just clock things, and we clock things where we say, like, I love my dad. My dad was an amazing person. I'm gonna try to not do that part.
But it's interesting because no matter what you do as a parent, I feel like what I've discovered is it doesn't mean you're better as a parent than your parents were to you.
Right.
You're just ultimately different. Because I was raised very Catholic, et cetera. And so, we don't really do a lot of the Catholic stuff. And then we're in the Vatican, and my daughter's looking around, and she goes, Dad, who's Jesus? And I was like, oh, wow, I have really overlooked a lot of major historical facts in my education of my daughter.
Even just for pop culture.
No, really. Yeah. And I mean, she knows the Greek gods and the Roman gods and
she knows the band
Norse
Jesus
gods.
and Mary Chain. Jesus Jones. Yeah.
But I was like, oh, it's interesting because that is something that since going to the Pope, I have started telling her more about what Jesus taught.
Yes.
Which I think is generally net positive. with some caveats.
I think we can all agree that the core, not just of Christianity, but the core teachings of many religions, they have this commonality, this beautiful, all in their own different way, but the core tenets of many religions are fantastic.
Absolutely.
Just about treating, how you should treat other people, humility. And then we, of course, over the centuries have added all of this glop to
Yes.
it. And it's turned into, mega churches and, virtue signaling and insanity. But if you just go to the basic tenets, they're very beautiful.
Yes.
And
Pope Francis seemed to embody a lot of the best aspects of Christianity and Catholicism.
I remember, and this is a funny thing to seize on, but he was a very humble man, Pope Francis. And when he came into the room, I don't know if you noticed this, did you notice his shoes? He was wearing like worn kind of walking earth shoe, like Mephisto kind of.
Oh yeah.
They were just they were shoes that you would pick up at a very inexpensive store.
Like there was Florsham or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They were just very basic, kind of worn shoes that a guy would wear on a bus, or the guy who's driving the bus. And I remembered thinking there was no sense of the pomp and the gold and the rings, and I thought that was impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, he had that one ring, the papal ring.
Well, and he won that NBA championship.
Yeah.
For the Mavs.
Yes, Mavericks. Well, I made the mistake of saying Mavericks, and he said, "Who says Mavs?" They say, "Call it the Mavs." Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He said meatball.
We beat the Nuggets in the finals. They went into overtime. Now I'm doing New York.
What's happening?
New York Pope.
What we're gonna do is edit out all of my stuff where the Pope is speaking in an offensive Italian, and just keep yours in, and then we're gonna post-tape me saying things like, "Please stop, Mike. Please, the man is gone."
Yeah. I want to know about these notes.
Okay.
I need to know what the notes are doing.
I told him the two people I've seen in my career who had the most notes when they came out were Gary
Shandling,
Gary Shandling, and Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers had a lot of notes. And I recently ran into Melissa Rivers and I said, I remembered your mom, and every time she came on my show, she was backstage with tons of, and she filled in for me notes. She said, "Mom really believed in preparing." So you have brought your notes with you.
I just had a couple questions for you guys.
Okay.
Because I talk about it in the special. Did you guys have a sex talk growing up?
No.
I did not, no.
I did.
Ugh.
But I gave it to my dad.
What was it?
I want to get me some sex, is what you said.
Dad, you're gonna want to be with a woman. No, he just gave me the most uncomfortable right before dropping me off to high school. Like, okay, you're gonna want to try drugs and have sex, and just be safe and don't overdo either of them. Have a great day.
Wow, that's
it was
not
great.
bad advice.
No,
That's
it was
pretty
really good.
good.
And for that reason, I didn't do either for a long time.
And I've been accused of overdoing sex. I don't know what that means.
What?
Yeah,
You
overdid it. What?
I didn't have a sex talk growing up, but when I was probably around 20, I was living with my girlfriend for a summer, and then my dad...
And she had the talk with you. We're going to do something soon.
My dad was
going to
very
be scary.
My dad was very upset about it, and he just sort of like, before I left, he looked at me for a little bit, and he goes, "You're playing with fire."
Oh,
my God.
And that was the whole conversation.
that was your sex talk?
Yeah. And I was like,
Oh
I got
my
a hose. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, that's
So that,
don't involve.
I
the
did
hose.
not get a sex talk, and I'm
Waiting
still
for it?
waiting.
Still waiting. Yeah. Oh, this is the thing I'll say. I take the Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast premise, I think, much more seriously than the other guests. Last time, I demanded to have a real friendship with Conan.
Yeah.
Since then, we visited the Pope.
Yep.
And we had coffee in Brooklyn.
We did.
There were 2 definitive dates.
And I am coming on your podcast
You're
when I
coming
can
on
get
my
my ass
podcast?
to New York.
Yep.
And I feel badly because we walked in and your assistant was
Assistant,
here,
yep.
who works with you on the podcast.
Yep.
and she has an antiquated name.
Mabel.
Mabel.
Mabel Lewis, yeah.
It's not a name you hear all, but Mabel. You don't hear Mabel a lot. And
she's gonna love that.
But
she has an antiquated name.
Yeah.
My God.
No, and she was wearing a bonnet.
She was wearing a bonnet.
She was wearing a bonnet, and she was.
It was a horse. She came on in a horse-drawn carriage.
And but she was in the podcast room when I walked in. This very nice young woman wearing a bonnet, and she was working a loom when I came.
It was
in.
a loom, yeah.
She had an antiquated name, said Conan. I mean, that's so.
Yeah, I know.
She seems lovely, and I'll be seeing her at the podcast.
Yes.
And I yelled at her for even daring to be in here. Mock yelled at her, and I said, for symmetry, she needs to scream at me when I come to your podcast.
But I want to move my friendship with Conan to a quarterly this
Oh.
year. Yeah.
You mean
Right now we did two meetings in the last year and a half.
Let's see.
Double
You know what
up.
I'm going to do? I think I'm going to be in New York in June. And that's when this, is it drops?
That's when this drops.
It drops, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should get together in June, and I'll either do your podcast or we'll meet up for more than coffee. What's more than coffee? A lunch.
I think a lunch, yeah.
Okay. Not a dinner. I won't do a dinner with you.
Okay, fair.
Next year.
We'll see.
So we went to Italy. My daughter was there. Your son was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so my daughter met Conan. Of course, just thinks he's another person going to the Vatican.
Yeah.
Doesn't just this tall man going to the Vatican also.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Oscars come on, we show her the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, remember him? Conan from the Vatican. So that
How old is your daughter? She's 44.
She's 44 years old. Yeah. No, she just turned 10. But we showed her the Oscars, and we laughed at the Adam Sandler bit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really silly, him wearing a hooded sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, I drove her to school, and I was wearing a hooded sweatshirt. And she goes, "You look like Adam." And I go, "Adam who?" And she goes, "Adam from the Oscars." I think that's the only time he's ever been referred to as Adam from the Oscars.
Yes. That's, you know what you said in your special? And
That's cute.
which was sweet was that whenever you're out in the real world and someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, I love your comedy." You had this great line about your kid's response.
Yeah. I said to her, because I was thinking, I was like, that's so weird for her, probably. Someone's like, "Oh, you're a great comedian." And I walked a few blocks. I go, "What do you think when people say stuff like that?" And she goes, "It's a waste of my time." I was like, that's the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me.
God.
And I know Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
No,
That killed me.
It's really funny. My kids have a great, healthy disinterest for my shenanigans professionally. And I think way deep down, they're proud of if I do some good work, but mostly, again, a waste of their time.
Yeah.
And I remember walking down the street, and I was with my daughter. And do you ever, I reuse some lines, and what I get a lot is "you're much taller in person."
Sure.
I get that all the time. And so I just learned the thing that always works is people be like, "Hey, you're much taller than you are on TV." And I say, "And you're much taller in person than you are on TV." And I'll say, "Well, you need a bigger TV." And it always works. It just works. I'll say, "You need a 6'4" television." They're like, "Ha ha ha," and we're done. I did that, and my daughter shot me a look. This is a bunch of years ago. She shot me a look and she said, "You've done that one before."
Oh.
And I said, "You want an original line for every human I meet?" And she kind of gave me a look like, "Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't reuse material."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You can when you're walking around a mall. What are you talking about?" We really got into it, and I started screaming at her, which I promised I'd never do. I said I'd never be that dad, but that's what we got into it.
When you hosted the Oscars, I texted you. I go, "Conan, you showed us how it's done. All of us comedians are diligently taking notes. Do you have advice?" I was just about to film my special.
Mm-hmm.
And Conan wrote back, and it was very sweet. He wrote, "Thanks. Tons of prep, but I ended up having fun out there. I guess that's the only lesson."
Yeah,
and I think
that's true.
And I think that that the special is, I think, the most fun that I've ever had on stage in one of the film specials.
There is something contagious about people having fun.
Yeah, this special is really specific what the preparation was. It was 70 cities over 2 years. So I toured, and every city was different. Keep making tweaks. And then my director, Seth Barish, who's directed like all 6 of my last specials, he has a theater company called the Barrow Group, and we would have these impromptu like rehearsals for whoever was around. It would be like 10 people in like a room, and I just go, this is the story. And it wouldn't be like stand up. It wouldn't be like people bought a ticket, and I would just do, the special you guys saw. Like I would just perform it, and you'd see which parts just don't ring true.
Yeah.
Because you take away the inertia of like 1,000 people in a room going, yay. And it's just like me telling you a story. It starts to be like, oh, okay, well, that part's a little bullshit. And this part really feels like something.
Yes, that's the part of it that speaks to something I don't understand. There's a almost mystical quality to some of this mass communication or whatever we want to call it, but specifically comedy where, and the same thing is true in music where you can try and over and over and over and over again to get them to like the thing that they don't like or that they don't respond to. And you can keep tweaking it and working it. But when you find those real things, those nuggets, they just have a palpable weight. They have and sometimes you just find them conversationally with your friends or out in the world. You find something, you're like, oh, this is great. This is, there's something about this phrase or this story with this, and that's the part where it's funny because we started this and I asked you off mic because you talk a lot about your dad having a stroke. And it sounds, like it was a pretty serious neurological event. And this is another thing I can relate to because your dad's a doctor. He starts to try and take control of his own care. And I watched your special and I went right to my dad 20 years ago having being diagnosed with colon cancer, and they go in and they do the major surgery, not orthoscopic, but they go in and they do the major abdominal incision and take out a section of his intestine and sew him back up again. And he wakes up after the operation, and there are these tubes going in, and they're basically anesthesia to block the nerves so that he doesn't feel the pain. And he looked at them and he said, what is this? And they said, well, this is to keep you from feeling the agony of this abdominal surgery. And he said, it will slow recovery. Take it out. And they said, no. We just cut through you with a buzzsaw and took out. And my dad said, take it out. And they took it out. I flew home because I was in Los Angeles. I flew home to see my dad and thinking, and I said, I'll stop off at my parents' house first in Brookline and drop off my stuff and go right to the hospital to visit my dad. And this is like the day after the operation. I arrived because I would have been in New York. So I flew in, had to do a show, flew in. I don't have a key to the house. I ring the doorbell. The door opens. It's my dad opening the door.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. He had his intestine removed the day before.
Oh my gosh.
And he's standing there white as a sheet. He was like, it is good to see you, son.
Oh my gosh.
And I can tell he's basically been gutted like a fish, but he knew that you can recover quickly with no anesthesia or a little bit longer and feel comfort. And he did that. And that's when I thought, there's so much in your special where I thought, yep, I can check that box too.
Yeah.
There's so much I can check
No,
off.
it's such a strange thing watching a neurologist. My dad is a neurologist being treated by a neurologist, and they're essentially conferring with each other about what has happened.
And then your dad gave the doctor a bill.
Yeah.
Or here's my bill and here's my bill.
We'll go Dutch.
There was a point where and when he was at the hospital early on, where my brother Joe said to me, he goes, I went to see Dad today, and he said in the middle of the night they took me downstairs and I got hit by a truck. And I was like, Dad, it's worse than that. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
It's like, it's oddly like, it's a shocking experience what he's been through.
And how's his recovery going?
His recovery's okay. I mean, a few weeks ago, he had pneumonia and the flu at the same time. Yeah. And it just becomes, I mean, the special has been an interesting process for me because I wasn't planning on writing about it. I started writing about what can I teach my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year into writing that show, my dad has a stroke. And so then I'm like, okay, what can I teach my daughter? What have I learned from my dad? And in the process of it, I feel like I've learned to empathize with my dad in this way that I don't think I did when I was younger. I think I just viewed him as larger than life.
Yep.
And not quite as a person.
Yep.
And I think it's been very healthy and healing.
You know what helped me a lot is when my daughter was born, and then 2 years later my son was born, and I remember telling my wife, no matter what we do, they're going to go to a therapist and have complaints or issues, because that's just how it is. And if you accept that up front and you're not defensive about it, I think we're all doing the best we can.
Yes.
And that includes our parents and their parents. We're all doing, well, that's not true. There are parents that are not doing the best they can, but most people are doing the best they can.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. We're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
I haven't seen my kids in years. But my manager and my agent tell me they are prospering.
Well, I spoke with your publicist about the modeling that your children are doing.
Yes. And, I got them into modeling.
I know you're getting the checks from it.
Well, they say that once they turned 18, they're supposed to get the money.
Yeah.
But I am fighting that. And this is reminding me of this crazy riff I did
so off-brand for Conan
with Bob Newhart, who passed about, I want to say a year and a half ago. But we were doing some. I might have been doing. He did a podcast for a while, and I don't know if I was talking to him, but we got on this crazy riff about doing stuff for charities, and we both started doing this thing about how, and then when it's sick kids, and then you're supposed to give them the money. And it was so great because Bob Newhart, who's, a saint, but he was so dry, and he was like, oh, I know, tell me about it. And, and we were both doing this fake riff about how we were trying to hide the money for the children's hospital. And that's what I love is that when you can go that dark with people who are, at that point, he would have been 94, and he can go that dark and wants to go that dark.
Oh, yeah.
And you realize, this is just universal. We're all terrible people.
No, and this show is definitely the darkest of my specials just by the subject matter.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's been an interesting thing because there's that joke where I say my dad had a stroke and it's been devastating, but I will say it has calmed him down.
Right.
You know,
we have a lot of lines like that get big laughs, but if you're also touching a third rail, which is the whole point,
right? But it's interesting because when people laugh at that, and there was a point at which early in the development, I was like, oh, that's a little tense, and then I would say to the audience, I go, a lot of the jokes tonight are for me.
Yeah.
Most of them are for you, but a few are for me. This is a coping mechanism, and I hope it is for you too.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing I've realized in the process of writing this show is that like comedy for all of us is a coping mechanism of some kind.
Oh, it's a total defense mechanism, coping mechanism. I've often said I just, as a very young child, went through my checklist of, I know everyone's given certain superpowers. What are mine? And I went through, nope. And then I got, my friends think I'm funny. We're going to double and triple down.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be an athletic scholarship. The show, The Good Life, is on Netflix. It's your 6th special overall, but your 4th on Netflix. They probably don't want you to acknowledge anything that wasn't on Netflix.
True.
So, and I believe that's either out now or out any day.
Yeah, it's out.
Oh, it's out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's available everywhere.
Watch it because you do beautiful work, Mike. You really do. And there's a bunch of these young comedians who come from a generation or two before me who I really adore, you and Mulaney, and I mean the list goes on and on and on, but just that do really great work, and I watch you guys and it makes me happy. Makes me happy, like, oh, comedy is in very good hands. It's time for me to die.
Mike Birbiglia needs a friend.
There we
There we go.
We have agreed that you will slide right in.
It's official.
It's official.
Starting now.
Yeah. No, wait a minute.
What?
Oh.
Okay, we can do it.
Okay.
Give me a couple of months to get my affairs in order. But congratulations on another amazing show, and thank you for making it. It really made me feel very connected to you, and also really laugh. And so this is good medicine for all. And now, quick disclaimer. Pope Francis did not speak with that Italian accent.
Conan O'Brien, disrespect my grave.
I'm up in the heaven now, and I have to listen to this shit. All right, Mike, thank you very much.
This is such an honor. It's my favorite podcast, and I just appreciate you guys having me on.
I'll see you
so
soon.
much.
I'll see you.
Yeah, we'll see you in New York.
A couple of weeks.
Yep.
All right, we do have to address something, which is before the interview officially began with Mike Birbiglia, we start yapping. And we always do this.
Yeah.
And then we don't record on that, or we don't usually air that, because we start with hi, my name is blank and I feel blank. And, but we thought, well, we should stop doing that. We should just start playing this stuff, because it was a good area.
Yeah,
we had some fun, and it was before the official start of the podcast. So we were just chatting.
Sometimes I will take those things and splice them in the interview, but funnily enough, this one was so crazy energy that when you guys actually started the podcast, you both got really sober and somber, and they would never cut together.
I know. That's the thing, is I came in hot.
Yes.
I come in hot sometimes, and you were actually worried because my energy was very high in a good way. I mean, I was in a great mood.
Yeah.
I love Mike Birbiglia. I'm happy to be here. Nice to see you guys. I'm kind of jazzed. And then I have the biggest cup of coffee in the world. And you were worried, like, he's going to go up from here.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I came in hot. Birbiglia, or as I call him, Birbigs, which doesn't really work as a nickname.
No, I didn't hear you call him that once.
Never did. I just thought of it right now.
I think that's his Instagram handle, isn't it?
Birbigs.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, it's terrible.
I'd go with Birbiggie
Yeah.
if I was him.
I'd say Birbigaroni.
I'd go Birbigin.
Notorious Birbig.
Well, what was it we were talking about? Because I can't remember now.
We were talking about how Birbiglia is offering that when you die, he will do Mike Birbiglia Needs a Friend and take Sona and I on.
Yes. Yeah. Which brings up a very good point. We don't have a succession plan.
Yeah.
And we need one.
We do. I mean, I don't know when this drops, but we've just lost the Pope, and that's a whole process they go through for finding someone. It's usually a conclave.
Yeah.
I don't know if there would be a conclave to find who takes over this podcast should something happen to me.
Who would be in? These three would be in it.
Yeah,
Blay, Eduardo, and Adam would
Blay,
be in it.
Eduardo, and Adam
We're
would be
Cardinals.
in it.
For sure.
Or are we in the running? I don't want to. I'm
but also,
removing myself.
I don't think you guys want to host it.
No.
Let me just tell you something. Host, it's a very high pressure position.
Is it?
And I think you guys get to go like, what? What's he talking about? Eye roll. And then you get the check, and it's all nice. To be the tent pole, to be the one who's in the F-16 piloting it.
Oh, you think that's what you're doing?
Anyway, Sona, he's right. So we should just co-host.
Okay, yeah, we could just do that.
So who would who should it be? Will it be Birbiglia? Who will take over this podcast?
I think he's a strong contender.
Who else would it be? Who else would we think would have the? I mean, very few people. And this sounds like I'm thinking it's not even a humble brag. It's just a brag. Oh. But who else would have my combination of skills?
Oh.
Wow, this is a really
read off of a paper. That's so much work.
I know.
Somebody just tears out a page from a 1978 Yellow Pages.
Let's get this plumber.
Oh no, what do? Someone gives me the research and then I gotta ask questions.
Occasionally I got to doodle while I'm talking to people.
Questions?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
my job is so hard.
Guys, I know it looks to you like I just come in here and babble like a chimp.
Yes, it does.
And then somehow it's cobbled together.
Yes.
But no, that's not what I do. I spend hours preparing my body. There's a whole regimen of various tubs filled with different oils at a different temperature. There's a whole thing that happens.
Oh my God.
So you get deep fried.
Various oils. No, I think you guys should be thinking about it. Adam, you should be thinking about who would step in. And you're the podcast whisperer here. You're the one that thought I should do a podcast and started this insanity.
As we're talking about it now, I'm actually thinking that I've been a little derelict in my duties because I should have all the like big companies are talking about what's the Disney succession plan. Everyone needs to have when their leader is aging. Everyone needs to have like
wait a minute.
Succession plan.
Wait a minute,
so
Adam,
I
wait
just
a minute.
think it's my responsibility to come up with.
Adam, I was certain we were talking about either an accident or me deciding to retire to my pony farm upstate.
And what do you mean is aging? How about has aged? You know?
What about has aged badly? I think it's legitimate. I'm going to overlook the way you said it, but I do think,
it should be my responsibility, and I think Birbiglia is a great candidate.
Although I will say this, every special he has is about his medical ailments. Today we found out that he was born without bones.
Yeah.
He has no bones. He uses coat hangers that are strapped to the outside of his body to remain.
He doesn't have much time left either.
I would worry about Birbiglia's health because every special he does is about, oh, and by the way, I have another condition where my gums are growing into my heart.
So would you, well, here's the thing though. I think you should be grooming your successor.
I don't like the word grooming anymore.
Yeah,
it's got some bad connotations.
Well, this brings up this question. Is this like a democracy or a conclave, or do you get to appoint a successor it seems like the autocrat would be the way you want to go.
And Sona, you had suggested maybe it's more like Succession. I'm
like,
Logan Roy.
You're Logan. You're definitely a Kendall.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
He is. He's Kendall. You're a very Kendall.
You're very Kendall-esque.
Right.
And
and
you're
of course,
not a Roman.
You're Shiv.
Yeah, I'm Shiv. But you don't think you're a Tom?
Oh, and you know what?
Tom.
Blay is the guy. Who's the guy who is out in Montana?
Connor?
Yeah. Blay is Connor.
Yeah. I'm more a Tom than a Kendall.
You are a Tom.
Blay thinks he's going to run for president and no one takes him seriously. And
I see myself as more of a Greg.
That's true. But
little bumbly, smarmy.
Yes. You know what? You are more of a Greg than a Connor.
Yeah.
And Eduardo's just Eduardo.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, there's no way to make you someone else.
There's no Latinos on Succession.
Yo, snap.
Well, he's like a Mattson. He's more of a Mattson. Cool guy, right?
No, I think he's, Jerry. He's Jerry.
If I get the same paycheck, sure.
As me?
Sign me up. Yeah.
Well, there's not a lot of money in this. I mean, there was at one point.
Anyway, we don't have any more time to play the clip.
Well, yeah, this is...
Yeah, play the clip.
This is
play the clip.
This is like Succession, though, if nobody wanted your job, though. Like, it's like, who's not going to get it?
And in Succession, the company was very sought after and powerful. This is very different with...
Right.
This is people saying, I don't want that. I'm going to work at a shoe store instead. All right, play the clip.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, man. Have we got a lot to talk about? This is one of those ones where I want to get right into it because we have so much to talk about.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot.
You and your special will not come up.
Okay, got it.
You understand?
No,
let
me just write this down.
Kind of what I've got going on.
No promotions.
No promotions.
No promotions. No mentions of projects.
Have you met the... Well, this is
Sona.
Sona.
And
Mark.
Sonos
Mark.
Is that Sonos and Mark?
I just like to keep him on his toes.
Listen, I came in a little hot. I apologize. I saw someone who shouldn't be here.
Yep.
And it infuriated me. And
No, I get it.
You know what I mean, right? You don't just let people wander around.
First of all, I brought notes again.
Okay, listen.
I love how prepared you are.
I got a stack of notes.
Last person who I saw bring that many notes was Gary Shandling, and he's dead.
Oh my God.
Dead. And maybe I think because of the notes.
That was going to be one of my notes today. Is when I just want to pitch this to Matt and Sona. When Conan dies, and I'm not saying he's going to die soon. Mike Birbiglia needs a friend.
Okay.
Yes.
We don't have to
We're there.
wait for that.
No, and we have.
Or we can hasten
Before
it.
we begin, I
I'll
have one
take a
question.
pay
No,
cut.
that's
before
part
we
of it. That's part of it. Keep it in.
This can't be part of the keep it in.
No, that's part of keep it in.
Wasn't clear to me at the end. Dad, okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your dad.
My dad is okay now. Yep.
He's better.
He's better.
Okay.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure
Yep.
before we get into it because
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to really roast him, and I want to make sure he's okay.
Oh, shit.
Listen, it's what we do in Massachusetts.
Oh.
It is. It really is.
Yeah,
yeah,
it really
is.
Yeah.
These two California soft
I
little
know.
babies.
Well, sort of
Like,
via
I'm really glad you're in my
Croatia,
life.
wherever the
Matt.
heck he's from.
Same.
So
Croatia.
but for real, when Conan dies, it is important that you know that you will be the first two people who I want to have on Mike Birbiglia and
True story.
You're gonna make us you're gonna make something
I don't know
happen.
why. I want to start.
We are,
But you guys have created this thing that has to happen first, where they go, "Harmless, Mike Birbiglia, and I feel nauseous about." And because we have to do that, we can't record any of this shit. You created the perfect trap.
It's all being recorded.
Look at
though.
this. This is how an guy with ESP does a podcast. That's a funny bit.
We're ready to come
Oh
be
my
on your
God.
podcast.
Yeah,
now.
Mike Birbiglia needs a friend, you said. Okay, we're in. We're
Conan,
in.
let me tell you a few things about television. They're rolling right now, so we can
This isn't
use all of
television.
it.
It's not television. It's not television. It's a podcast that's being recorded.
Oh my God. I hope there's no caffeine in whatever you're drinking.
There's a Valium in there.
Oh God.
Okay, over to you, Mike. Whenever you're ready.
Whenever you want to start. It's lots of fun to do. If you like it, holler yay. And if you don't, you holler boo.
Oh no! I listened to our last episode, and Yay Boo in the comments is beloved. People love Yay Boo.
Oh, yeah. Well, I could sing another one of his tunes. And I don't know if we brought that up.
Oh, we
but,
have, yeah.
Yeah. Boy,
Dark.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start it.
All right.
Okay, fake start and go. You got to know Ali well, and Ali really enjoyed you.
Yes.
He really enjoyed you. You did a fantastic impression of him, and he loved that, and that created a bond.
Yes, it was the first time that I really was on television as a stand-up. Was a local special, only seen in New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. It was produced by Sport Magazine. A great writer there was later became a great friend named Dick Schaap.
Mm-hmm.
Dick was a great sports writer and journalist and amazing man. And it's really a story about fate and about destiny. Ali beats George Foreman. He's 33 years old, and he's named as the Sport Magazine Man of the Year. So they're going to have this special for him at the Plaza Hotel. So Dick calls my agent, Pat Lee, who later produced...
Who gave me my first job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for Robert Klein, because Robert did a lot of great sports stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, gee, Robert's out of town, but I have this new kid. He does this really good little 3-minute Ali Cosell thing that might be perfect for you, Dick. Dick goes, sounds great. Tell him Friday night, be there at the Plaza Hotel around 6:30. The show's going to start at 8. The dinner's at 7, and give me his phone number. So I am literally feeding my daughter, who I just told you about. We went fly fishing together yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm feeding it, and Pat calls me and said, Dick Schaap's going to call you. And why? I knew Dick, he was the Ed McMahon of Joe Namath had a talk show.
Yeah.
And
This is back when Joe Namath could have a talk show.
Yeah.
It's a different time.
And he's going to call. I said, why? He said, it's a dinner on Ali and so on. So it's going to be televised. And so I said, really? And then taking oatmeal off her cheek. Phone rings. Hey, Billy, Dick Shapner. Would you like to hear the invitation? No, I hear it's great. Really? It's good over the phone. That's how I like No, it's fine. So we get a babysitter. Janice and I drive into the Plaza Hotel. I thought it was supposed to be a tuxedo for some reason. And everyone in his business suits, I really look stupid in this little makeshift tuxedo I've got. And Janice and I walk in, holding hands, looking like two people who had just come to America. and I meet Dick. He couldn't have been more charming.
Yeah.
And said, Janice, you'll sit with me. Billy, you're going to sit 2 seats from Ali.
Wow.
On the dais. And I look at Ali, and there he's the first time I saw him in person. And it was like, he was the sun and everybody was revolving around him. It was insane. It was a Scorsese shot. Everyone else was in slow motion as I walked closely, up to the dais and got there. It was like this tracking shot. I'm just looking at him. And I sit down and I'm in between Archie Griffin, who had just won the Heisman Award, and Gino Marchetti, who was the defensive end for the Baltimore Colts. Because not only was Ali the Sport Magazine Man of the Year, all of these people were the Man of the Year in their individual sports. Mm-hmm. Plus, there's Neil Simon and George Plimpton.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. So now I'm sitting there. And Ali looks over and he's like, he knows everybody except me. Yeah. I didn't even know me. I mean, I'm still substitute teaching during the day for $43.50 and working at Catch a Rising Star at night. And Dick says to me, before I sat down, how should I introduce you? I said, Dick, just say here's one of his closest and dearest friends. And I'll walk to the podium and I'll go right into, hello, everyone. It'll just make sense and I won't have to talk as myself. It'll be okay. Yeah. I'll be in character. I'll be fine. So, as I said, Ali's looking at me, probably thinking, what the hell is Joel Grey doing here?
He's not looking so good.
So he says my name. I walk up. I go right into the co-cell of it, and I get heckled in the audience by Ali's one of his trainers. His name is Drew Bundini Brown.
Yep.
And he starts, I don't know what he's yelling. But I'm going, hello, everyone. Howard Cosell coming to you live from Zaire. You got it,
man! That's what heckles sound like. You never know what they're saying.
I got this, Bundini. I've got this. No, you got it, man! So I get in, and finally I get to, Muhammad, come over. And then, how do you knock out George Foreman? How do you feel? Everybody's talking about Joe Frazier. I want to talk about Joe Frazier. And then it goes on, and they go crazy.
Yeah.
And it finishes, I'm announcing tonight I'm changing my name because I got new religious beliefs. I want to be known now as Izzy Yiskowitz. Izzy Chaim Yiskowitz, because Chaim, the greatest of all time. It's Jewish boxing. You don't hit the man, you just make him feel guilty. You get in the clutch. I said to him, when's the last time you spoke to your mother? He goes, oh, Jesus. Boom! I gave him a Zets. Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Galam, Chesed. Boom. It finishes, and then Dick says my real name, big applause. Ali holds me in his arms and whispers into my ear, you're now my little brother.
Oh.
And that's what he called me for 42 years. And he lived not far from here. In the Fremont Place, I think it's called. And it was later they shot the Rocky movie. That was his house there. So it's not far from here. And he'd call me up. And it was never Bill. It was always, little brother, what are you doing? You want to run with me tomorrow at a golf course? I run a golf course over Wilshire golf course. I said, Muhammad, they won't let me there. I'm Jewish. They don't, it's segregated. It's restricted. No Jews allowed. He goes, what? I'm a black Muslim and they let me run there. I'm not going to ride there again. So he never ran there again.
Wow.
So we would have all of these events over the years. He would be there. He came at my 50th birthday party and surprised me and walked out in front of everybody. And it was crazy.
Didn't you guys go to Cosell's funeral together?
Yeah, and I was sitting at Howard's funeral.
Yeah.
And they meant everything to each other. Howard, for all of his pomposity, sided with Ali when Muhammad refused to go into the service, and he kept him going and fought for him and in some ways helped the Supreme Court overturn his conviction. And they meant a lot to each other. So I'm sitting next to him, closed casket. And Ali whispers to me, he goes, "Hey, little brother, do you think he's wearing his hairpiece?" So now I lose it. I'm just gone. It's like, somebody farted in church.
Yeah.
That's what this is like.
Yeah,
my God.
Yeah.
I'm laughing. And I said, I don't think so. He said, well, how will God recognize him? And I said, once he opens his mouth, he'll know. So this went on and on. And now we all age. And I get a call that he's not going to make it through that weekend.
Mm.
And so Lonnie, his unbelievable wife, says, listen, it's going to be a memorial in Louisville. Muhammad wanted you to be one of the eulogists. I said, oh my God, can you come? I said, of course we'll come. So we fly there. It's very emotional. It's an arena of 17,000 people.
Jesus.
That day they paraded the casket through town, and people ran after it the way that people looked at the train with Robert Kennedy's casket flying by, and and I'm sitting there waiting to go on, and President Clinton's on my left, and Janice is on my right, and we're still holding hands. And I'm thinking to myself, what if Robert Klein was in town?
all those years ago. Or what if you had been on SNL? What if you had gotten on that night, October 11th, 1975? You still, because you make it, but it's different. How could it have gone better than it went?
And that's, God, I've gotten belted around, this success, that bomb, this didn't do well, but I had a great time. I've learned perspective. It's all about the experience now.
Yes.
And that's what I come back to, is that it's not they're wrong, I'm right. It's that, God, I really was good in that. I learned so much. I made new friends. I found another part of me. I never thought I could do that. I take the positives out of it, and then I go weep.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the weeping. You were weeping when you came in.